The time has come once again for Prime Time to open its doors and place the brightest of lights onto the canvas that'll shine on the centre of the octagon. Two more men will look to lay claim to a possible number one contender opportunity as Prime Time brings you all the action right here tonight. Entering first came Caliber. They said that the hype would get to him, that seasoned Xbox fighters would expose him, and yet Caliber has now become one of those seasoned fighters. One of the best in the Xbox division looks to once again put his stamp on the league's history and takes home another win here tonight. Driz, he's on fire tonight, but it's my job to put it out. I expect the fight to drag out late, and I will drown him. But tonight, Caliber will be met at a crossroads on his journey back to the championship. And it's a new possible dawning of a new era for a young and upcoming prospect. Enter Driz. New blood has been injected into the division, and if I make history is anything to go by, Driz might be on the fast track to the championship. His wrestling prowess and sheer aggressiveness makes him one of the hardest men to figure out inside of the cage. It's time, it's my time. Not his. He'll find that out very soon. And so, all that being said, welcome back to the home of mixed martial arts. Welcome to Prime Time.
Welcome to Prime Time indeed, and this is Fight Night 61, here with me, Mr. Humbledink, and we have the ever-loving, great commentary from Doctor. How you doing, my man?
It's good to be back. Sadly, I wasn't around for last week's card, so I wasn't able to do that intro. Sadness. But I'm back this week, did the intro, and now we're going to get straight into this card from top to bottom. It is stacked. Hopefully later down the line, Humble, we will be having a special guest on comms. You'll have to find that out once they do appear. But in the main event, we've got Driz versus Cam Caliber. We've got the co-main of Cam Intro versus Toasty Toes at Lightswears. Maybe we get to see Rafael Fizz, I can't remember how to pronounce his name. Fizzayev, there we are. Show up in that spot. But you also got a stacked main card as well as prelims, which are featured at the very top with ICB Lepo versus B3 Blackout.
Yeah, definitely. There's some fantastic fights, but Doc, I can't start at the highlight of them prelims there. We've got to start right at the top. We've got Caliber versus Driz, and that is an absolute barn burner right at the top. Caliber going with Bahal Muhammad, versus Driz with an Usman pick, and they are number 3 and 5 in the Xbox division. That Xbox division is on fire at the moment. We know Caliber has tasted gold before. He's going to want to taste it again.
Yeah, I have never known a more stacked time for an Xbox division. I want to say it's early season, but it's really not. People are 5-6 fights deep, and the Xbox division keeps coming up with contenders over and over and over again. The belt's changing hand. We had it from Donna, and now he's going to be up against Trixie tomorrow. That's going to be an interesting one to say the least. But up next, with that main event and the co-main event, both of them leading to very big title contention wins here. And even as you go further down, you're looking at names like Blackout, who has been in title contention before on the PS side, now on the Xbox division, and he's struggling to get up to that main card just from the experience of the Xbox side. So you've got to imagine if that name is struggling to get up to the higher tiers, you've got to imagine how stacked the Xbox side truly is.
Oh, it's absolutely stacked to the gills. And look at the number 5th fight there. He's got Cass versus Pablo G. Cass is 3-0 at the moment versus Pablo G, who's currently on a tear as well. Both of those guys got massive winning records in the Xbox division, and they're fighting, 5 fights from the top. You got Oracle versus Clark. And just to quote somebody that's fighting earlier on in the card, somebody came in earlier on and he said, I'm fighting. He had a late replacement and he's fighting NM Liam, which is number 2 ranked in the world at the moment. And he was gobsmacked that he's fighting number 2 on the prelims. And I said, there's no easy fights in prime time. Both of those guys are not coming in. So, they're perfectly even coming in, but we know how good they both are. And they're going to be making a splash. And that's what it's all about. It is early season, Doctor, because 2 or 3 wins this early season can get you a title shot, as we've seen before and as we've seen in previous weeks.
Yeah, and that's one of the more crucial aspects. If you can capitalise on the early season, get the head of the game there, you're going to be a lot more well off coming into the mid to late season. These seasons do last quite a while, so if you start off badly, you're going to have difficulty later down the line. On the note of NM Liam, he will be replaced. He's a replacement against TM ATB. Just below that will be Nazim versus Steve, replacing that fight in the second slot, sadly, that both those fighters in the Patrie. But first off tonight, we'll be having JJTRNR versus a replacement fight of Lucy. This is going to be in the bantamweight division. It looks like Lucy is ready and roaring to go, already on the ready mark with Cody Garbrandt, and his opponent seems to have picked Marlon Moraes here.
Yeah, a bit of an interesting mix-up. A lot of people asking how to join Primetime. A lot of new customers. We've got a lot of new faces, new viewers. Basically, we've just put a Discord link right there in the chat. You've joined through Discord. You go through the About Me section. You click on Roll Xbox, not PlayStation, and then you join by signing up to each event that we pick each Tuesday. And, you know, there's an unaired event. There's these events on a Friday, Saturday. We do a lot of different fights. And this is what you get right now, live commentary coming through every Friday and Saturday with fantastic fighters. But Doctor, going back to the prelims, they have to pick 4-star fighters. It is a rule that we have. 4-star fighters, what the lower weight class, I believe, or the high, is it the higher weight class or lower weight class that gets to pick? Doctor, correct me, please.
The higher rated fighter is the person who gets one ban. The lower rated fighter is the person who gets first pick. That way both sides are evenly, about as evenly contested, but it looks like Cody is wanting to end this fight quickly. Getting the overhand there. Fantastic knockdown and playing the aggressive game. With only 30 seconds into the fight here.
Yeah, definitely. He came out LWF right there and he really tried to put his opponent away. Great work. He told us to shut up and stop talking about those picks. Start talking about me. And he starts backing up, fighting really well off the back foot, Doctor.
Yeah, head kick does come out, maybe a bit too close range. The takedown attempt is definitely what Marlon wants to be doing. He does have those about 94 rate submissions. He's like a worst Aldo on the feet, but it's probably got some very good grappling. Takedown does come out, does get defended. That was a fantastic job by Cody. If he just stays calm and patient here, he could definitely start to increase the pace as he goes. If he makes his opponent overextend and start whiffing, he can maybe gas him out and then look to get some heavy counters, especially with Cody's power.
He definitely, obviously, he's getting pieced up on the feet. The 98 power from Cody, which I don't think is fair. You know, he's got a ridiculous amount of power in those hands. And he did knock him down early and then stood up. You know, and when someone stands up, Doctor, against you as a grappler, what does that make you think? When they're in a dominant position, they're on top of you, they've landed some ground and pound, and then you just stand up out of nowhere. What does that make you think as a grappler going forward in that fight?
It depends how the fight is going. If they're winning on the feet and they're having a lot of success, like Cody here is, it's going to make you more wanting to get on the ground. But if they're kind of very tentative to get up and they're not having much success on the feet, but they've still got up, that's going to make you think that that's their weakness. It's looking like Marlon believes that this is going to be Cody's weakness, that if he can get him on the ground and look for that grappling exchanges, that he's going to have the ability to really dominate his fight compared to on the feet. He's trying to find a grasp, but so far Cody does seem to be the one leading the dance so far.
He's really not doing well with his stamina management as well right now. Cody Garbrandt has got him on the ropes, he's got him on ice, and as he goes to throw the front kick down the middle, great job right there from GGTR to kind of get away from him and make sure he's out of danger. So far it's not looking good. The chin of Marlon Moraes is wobbly. Cody Garbrandt looking for the finish, Doctor, early in the first.
A little bit of dancing, overhand whip. Marlon coming straight back though, trying to stand it. His gas tank isn't fully done, but the more and more time it goes on, the more knockdowns it just decreases that stamina. The chin of Cody is very weak and susceptible. It's just landing the punches, and with the way Cody's managing that lead hook as well as that jab here, he's just making sure ranges every time. And then when Marlon goes to trade, the hook's coming out, and with a dangerously low head health already, which is blinking non-stop in some cases, it means easy knockdowns like so.
He's not forcing it as well, and he's just got the bang bang approval there, saying that, you know, I'm a good Cody player. I believe this is a good Cody player as well. The bang bang approval is always approved, Doctor. That's what you want out there. But Cody Garbrandt, I believe, won that round comfortably and is looking to take his opponent out. Maybe early in that second round, it was a fantastic start, and he didn't stop there. He went all the way through that round, knocking him down multiple times. He's going to have to dig himself out of that grave to win this fight.
Yeah, Marlon's got to dig deep, find the holes in which which he can exploit. It's looking like, I'm going to take a guess, to grappling maybe an area to do it. The takedown very quickly there. He's got 4 minutes to work over that, in fact. Does get denied there. He needs to stay patient, but the armbar attempt suddenly, and this could be it. So he's ditching it early, though.
Yeah, he doesn't. He looks like he was just trying to cause some ruckus right there. Maybe if he can think about the armbar. We'll get to see right now because he goes for it right there. No energy left from Marlon Moraes. Doesn't get it taken though. And LWF really needs to think about what he's doing right now. We'll see what he kind of goes for. He does have the stamina, but does get past his half guard right there. He needs to do some damage, Doc. That's the problem, and he gets reversed.
I'm pretty sure that was a fake that got denied. A quick tip about fakes: there's some positions where you can fake, other positions where you can't. For example, that side control, you can't really do it unless you do an undeniable. And that's, you just got to be wary of which ones you can and which ones are more likely to get denied. Lovely takedown there, does go for it. A Kimura, beautiful attempt, but just easily read by his opponent. Now from this position, I don't think he has a get up from the cage, but that was a fantastic denial, getting the reversal. Both of these guys seem well developed in their denial game and very well experienced, at least in that position.
2 minutes gone, and it looks like he's trying to neutralise the sort of striking from Cody Garbrandt at the moment, while Cody Garbrandt wants nothing of it, trying to get back on the feet, utilise that boxing, and really put on his opponent as he lands a nice three-piece right there, comes in with a lunging hook, and ends him in the second round, Doctor. Halfway through, Cody Garbrandt gets the win, and LWF picks up a great finish.
A simple jab rear hook, clipping Marlon as he comes into the pocket. Beautiful to trade with. Opponent comes in, as you do. Step that hook straight across the chin. Trades beautifully. Does so much more damage, and that was Cody was looking for. You saw him stay composed for a lot of that fight. Very slow, methodical, looking only for the jabs and hooks where he needed, and then exploding when necessary, as you saw the overhand very early on in the first. And Marlon tried to dig deep, but he just couldn't get pace. You saw the bit of the grappling at the end, but even that, Cody seemed to have a bit more experience, a bit more adaptability, and was able to adjust overall just that slight bit better.
Yeah, definitely. Good win for him going forward. Really solid performance from him as well. He's going to put some people on notice. Really surprise a few people this season if he performs like that. Each one, he will get a bigger fight next time he comes along. And he's definitely someone to take note of. The fans seem to like him who are watching Prime Time this afternoon. But that's going to move us on nicely, Doctor, to our next fight of this evening.
Yeah, we are gonna go for Nazim versus Stig. The previous fight booked in this position sadly fell through, so these are the two guys who we have instead. Nazim making his debut. He's made waves within the community itself. He's looking to be a promising star. I think he got recruited by BFAP, I want to say. Someone may have to correct me. I think I may have got names confused. I don't think I have, though. And then Steve's a man who's been around for the ages. He's a veteran of the game. He's a McGregor player. If you know Limit or Cole on PS, Steve's the same type of guy. He's a McGregor user. He's very well adapted in that striking game. The grappling has always been an area where he suffered in, but he makes up with that with his beautiful combinations and striking and his ability to make adjustments on the fly, which is also gathered from him being a veteran of the game, to be fair.
Yeah, definitely. You know, Cole's a very, very good player. And a lot of those McGregor players, they get really good fundamentals. They learn how to use kind of power punches. They learn angles. They learn good shots. And they learn how to put people away. That's kind of what they're really, really good at there. That's their main skill set, the footwork, the movement. But, Doctor, we're in heavyweight. That doesn't matter in heavyweight. In heavyweight, it's all about that one shot. And it looks like Gustafsson, maybe I was wrong, maybe the movement will matter against Tai Tuivasa, the power versus the movement and the boxing of Gustafsson, and maybe some of those kicks to keep him away as well. It's going to be really interesting how he uses Tai Tuivasa to close that distance.
Alexander Gustafsson feels like UFC 3 Bisping. If anyone can remember UFC Bisping and the way he plays middleweight, which is so quick compared to any other middleweight, Gustafsson's kind of the same, lightweight, light heavyweight as well as heavyweight. He's got that speed, the quickness, and the pace of it all. And Tai Tuivasa is very fluid. He's got, I think, a cross straight and that type of snap jab, which makes him very fluid. If you can establish that jab straight very early on, you've just got to make sure to do it, as you can see there.
Yeah, definitely, and that's exactly what it is. Look at these two right now, throwing down, and it's a nice knee. Beautiful work coming through, though, from Gustafsson to stop him from kind of coming forward. Really good option to throw that straight, followed by another combination when someone's kneeing you, Doctor. It really holds their position. You can imagine someone trying to throw a knee in you, punched him straight in the chin as they come forward, almost like a jab coming straight down the gut.
Yep. A whiffed head kick early on is already going to make notice from Naseem. It's looking like he's going to be he's going to be worrying about footwork. That's what his game is. His leg kick has been kicked quite nicely, and so a definite chuck follows suit there. Property's game plan seems to be conducting a leg kick, and Naseem seems to be conducting the footwork, and they're kind of counter each other brilliantly here.
Yeah, definitely. And Property, he's known as the comeback king. Had some brilliant knockouts last season in the last seconds of the fight, and maybe he's trying to do some damage to build towards that. A lot of people kind of realise, I'm not going to be able to maintain the stamina against somebody who's going to be able to pick me apart. The sniper like Izzy sort of fighting, and almost like Alex Pereira, like you've got to do the damage, you've got to hurt the hands, you've got to break the block. But Daddy going for a big takedown right there and ends up in side control. He's on top right now. You don't want him on top of you.
Well, the side control is a beautiful takedown, but his back is very close there. Does deny the split into side control. Back sitting now, and if Steve stays patient, he's going to read it fantastically, and that's what you do if you're Steve. You understand that you're in a good position. You can just wait. Now, he's kind of got a break from here because it's very weird.
Yeah.
The game's a bit weird like that. It's a legal move. The game's just a bit weird.
I don't really want to give advice for that because I actually have been shown how to stop that, but it's one of those positions that if you don't know what you're doing and you can't really kind of fight that sort of the knee coming through, it stops you from kneeing, it stops you from punching, Doctor. You need to reposition, essentially. You need to do something different without giving it away too much so it ruins the game plan of the fighters. You've got to stop that kind of movement from coming forward and kneeing you because he just consistently can chip away damage at the bodies.
Yep. But here we are, lovely roll out of the trip there. Simple jab straights to hook on the kick, and that is what you want to be doing. Uppercut body. Oh my God!
He hit him with a three-piece and a Gustafsson with the Viking gets it done. Beautiful work right there. Daddy wasn't messing about.
That went from looking like Steve's fight suddenly to Steve being the one knocked out cold. Steve was having a lot of success with the kicks, although he was quickly gassing out, having a bit of issues in terms of the gas pump. It was only round one, and so he still had a decent chunk to survive there. But Naseem there just came out, was effective, calm, composed, adapted, and then suddenly just came out with that killer of a combo, taking the win.
That you said that Naseem is B3 as well, if I'm correct. Is that right?
BFAP. I'm pretty sure.
Okay. BFAP. So built for ankle picking. Wasn't ankle picking tonight. He was taking his chin with him, and that's exactly what he did. Great performance from him. We've had two great standout performances so far. Two early finishes, Doctor. The primetime guarantee continues to deliver as we move into our third fight of this evening.
This time around, we're going to be on the PlayStation side. This time around, we're going to have NM Liam versus TMM ATB. NM Liam being a late-minute replacement. We're going to be in the lightweight division, and these two are looked to be putting on one hell of a performance. And Nate Diaz versus Masvidal needs to be on the card tonight.
Yeah, definitely. And NM Liam currently ranked number 2, I believe, in the world. Constantly finishing high. Their team's doing really well in the ESFL standout tournament as well with the teams. They're a great team. They've got a great camp. NM have. They've got a similar style though between all their players. They really like to put the pressure on with a boxing heavy approach. They all can wrestle. They all can do stuff, but they've kind of found a formula that kind of works for them, Doctor. It's really difficult to kind of survive past a couple of rounds against them. If you're not clued up and you're not in the zone, they can really shock you and kind of put you out of your comfort zone.
Well, to make mention to our current PlayStation champion of NM, Smudger. Smudger seems to have a style that is very much, he picks you apart, he goes slow, and then coming into those later round 3, 4, and 5 is when he really expands. If he can get you out early, he'll take it, but he's not too bothered. He'll go into those late rounds, he'll win the early rounds, and then really make you pay for it later down the line.
Yeah, exactly that. And I'm experienced with these guys, and we're going to start right now. I like the pick, though. He's got a pick of Nate Diaz. You're going to see how comfortable he is with him because he's going to have a tough opponent, a game opponent, but his opponent is aware of how good he is. He's even said in the chat beforehand, there's a bit of nerves there, Doctor, and you've got to think that when you're fighting such a high-ranked player in the world, there's got to be a bit of mental stigma in there as you're coming across that. But we've said it multiple times, it doesn't matter in prime time. If you can get a win over them in prime time, and when they're not, you're going to elevate yourself up there. You're going to put yourself on the map, and these big fights so early on can really elevate new players onto the scene and really let people know who you are.
Yeah, it's about if you can get these. This is what the league does. It gives you an opportunity to compete against the best. We don't take into account rank. We don't take into anything else apart from what you have done within this league, and sometimes a couple of other achievements. But most of the time, it's what you've done in this league, what you have done. It's how you make your name for yourself, and you can do that by getting wins over people like NM Liam, over people like Steve, over Caliber, Trixie, Toasty, Intro, you name it on whoever's ranked, they're going to be the guys you're looking to beat in the end. And sometimes, especially early seasons, it's going to be an easier chance to get into that opportunity to fight those names.
Yeah, definitely. I'll slightly correct you. We do take in consideration rank, but our rank, right? The prime time rankings, not the world rankings. We take into consideration certain things, but not the world rankings. We take in consideration if you're not, you fight an opponent that's going to be similar to that weight class, and that's how it kind of goes. And you can see NM Liam right now really dominating the grappling. He's trying to take the will out of Zario. The NM guys take this incredibly seriously. People don't know that, and this is why I like them. You've got to. It adds a sort of prestige to the league when every fighter takes it incredibly seriously. When you want to be the best, you want to prove you're the best, Doctor, and you come in and you take, no matter your opponent, you fight the same, and you fight at the best level you possibly can.
Inverted triangle. Sorry to cut you off there. That's an odd sub to see, not going to lie. I'm interested to see how far it can get. I have used it a few times myself. I do enjoy it. I used to love it in UFC 3. This is looking deep. The blue bar, though, is creeping up, but the red creeps up exceedingly fast as time goes on. He's trying to get a read. This could be dangerous. This is getting tight. Lovely to see. But
it mounts as well.
This could be bad for Nate Diaz.
Needs to block that initial transition. Doesn't really get it. He's going to try and get up right. He's got to be super careful. And NM Liam is no slouch on the ground. He knows exactly what kind of his opponent does. He's going to have a chance right now, though, to end of the round. We didn't see that right there. We were kind of invigorated into the fight.
I was about to mention it, but the clock beat me to you finishing your statement there. They had about 10 seconds when they got into top mount, and it's kind of the way that goes. Now, the second round here. Now, this second round's the round of adjustments. If I'm Masvidal, I want to play a bit more aggressively on the feet. I want to reduce the chances of those takedowns. Although Nate Diaz already getting into the clinch. Lovely deny, and that's exactly what he wants here. Camera being a bit weird, though.
What the hell is going on with the camera right there? It decided to change the exact camera that we had. Nice work. He kicked the legs as well. He's got to use those leg kicks, but he can't be kicking while Liam's entering the pocket, and got to avoid them. Sort of pull back. Good work right now. He's trying to establish his jab. Really like the gameness from the opponent right now, Masvidal. He's really trying to stamp his name into the division. And NM Liam might have to be forced to grapple if he keeps getting caught with a few more of those.
Might be. He's having some success on the feet. I think one of the biggest issues Liam's going to find, though, is just the difference in power. Diaz hits so lightly, and although he's known for his cardio, in the game, his cardio isn't actually that good.
Yeah, he's more of like a. It doesn't kind of come through. Certain people have certain recovery, and he's more sluggish as well. I always find that his footwork is the biggest. He's flat-footed. Nice work right there. Nearly gets the boxing off. The straights really come out well for Nate Diaz, and Liam's starting to utilise them a bit more there. But I really like the way his opponent's trying to attack him, trying to cut angles, trying to make certain shots. It's just in certain opportunities, NM Liam does really well. He really puts the damage down, and those are the times when you can see him kind of dropping his opponent or doing a lot of damage for later on in the fight, Doctor, to be more effective.
Yeah, both of them are moving their head quite a lot, trying to keep their head off that centre line because they know those are the main shots you want. Masvidal, the one shooting the takedown, has to be an odd one, but now he decides to go for one of his own. Little taunt there, point a poke, both of these talking each other, evidently a bit annoyed by not getting the takedown either way. Lovely teep hook there, doesn't get a stun, and it's looking like the further this goes on the feet, Masvidal is slowly gaining pace here.
Yeah, nice work. He pointed at him right there and said, you're a grappler now. Nice work from Diaz, though, to try and kind of utilise the centre of the octagon. You can see the control really coming from NM Liam, whereas I was really trying to find an opportunity. He's a bit hesitant in attacking. He doesn't know quite what to attack with at the moment. Goes for another takedown and he gets denied again. You really want NM Liam on his back? You know, it's a difficult one, but he's in a good position right now. He's going to try and pull him down. Does a good job of defending, and the stamina is quite even, but I believe that Masvidal might be winning that battle, which is strange.
Well, overall, in terms of you think about the takedown shot, both times that Liam's attempted a couple more takedowns. He has been denied now twice, so that can be quite draining on your stamina. Lovely straight there. Surprised neither one of them got a stun and a tip to the body following suit. It's very methodical here. You had the first round where Liam was very much a grappler, putting all the offense on, but this round so far has been Diaz trying to find a hole, but Masvidal fighting back at each and every step. Going into the third round, as you consistently mentioned.
Oh, look at that. That's so close. Like, the significant strikes are in the favour of Masvidal. The more strikes are in the favour of Nate Diaz. I don't know how that round scored. Personally, I'd give it to Liam, but I'm not quite sure. I always say this, Doc. I definitely think Liam won the first round. The second round is kind of up in the air. I think the second round might be decided by the third round. The third round is the round where the judges really are known to kind of take the scorecards, and they'll make close fights kind of favouring one where they always do it. It's tried and tested. These judges can change their mind on a dime, Doctor. It's not like real UFC judging.
The third round is always the most important, to quote you, and now normally rings too. Every time we get to the third, it doesn't matter what happens. Very rarely do we ever actually go to decisions. So normally every fight, any fight that does enter into the third is normally decreed by this lovely pull guard into a top mount sweep. Now this could be a deadly position for Masvidal.
Beautiful work. See how he pulled guard right there and kept hold of the R1 stick to kind of sweep him. RB stick as well. You know, he kept hold of it, and his opponent didn't kind of block that. You've got to block high to kind of stop that, Doctor, and he didn't anticipate it, essentially.
If Nate uses that jab and then can make a read on the head movement, because it's looking like Masvidal is a bit unsure when his block is broken, and maybe introduce some lead hooks into that jab combo there that he wants to fire. He may have a bit more success. Masvidal, on the other hand, liking this distance, he's got a bit more control. Although Nate is quite lengthy, he seems to like it here because he can then find the angles and really use them to his advantage.
Nice work right there. Goes with the hook. Beautiful work from both guys to try and land some punches off, and they're really going at it. I really do think that this guy's he's a difficult opponent so far for NM Liam. NM Liam's thought this might be a bit easier than it is. There's no easy opponents in prime time. You know, these guys are really going at it, and there's no clear winner so far. With all the tricks that NM Liam's even using to kind of try and get ahead, I do believe the leg kicks, the big damaging shots from Zaro, he's doing well. You know, he's really making it tough for Liam, and Liam can look slightly frustrated, in my opinion.
Yeah, he looks like Liam was expecting to be able to find holes in this game, but Masvidal's kept a lot of his guard very tight and very secure. The grappling is the one aspect where he's had a lot of success, but as you're seeing consistently, Masvidal's able to get up in some cases or even nullify it. We are now back on the ground, does go for the crucifix, now a couple of elbows being fired up, looking to get into half guard, but doesn't manage it there.
Nice elbows to the ground right there. He's got a really nice the submission attempts as well. That's the key factor. Trying to finish the fight with the submission attempts and getting further on. She's got into a different stage right now, and you know, every time you get into a different stage, you get more points off the judges, more rewards off the judges, because you're getting closer to that finish, Doctor.
30 seconds left on the clock.
This is it. This is over. I'm calling right now.
Like
There's no way he's
this
out
is
this
very
one.
close to stamina. Like Masvidal, fairly similar, but the Reed's just doing it.
Right,
this is going to be so
he's
close.
over.
He's got it.
Beautiful work from NM Liam. He really hunted that twice. He went for it. He felt. Look, he killed him. He killed him, Doc. He went for that He went for that early in that. Well, you know, halfway through that first round when he sort of saw a gap, got a bit of the tracking. You learn a bit of that tracking, learn how your opponent moves. And he started catching him slightly towards the end of that first submission. And then as he went at that second one, you know, he really made his opponent forget about it. And his opponent wasn't ready for the sort of tracking early. And NM Liam proves why he's number 2 in the world right now. And obviously 1-0 in prime time. So right now.
That is not a submission you see very often at all. An inverted triangle definitely puts yourself on the radar. If you're going to be fighting Emily, you've got to be not only wary of the striking game, be wary of that grappling game. He's very well adapted there, and with strats like that on the ground, he's going to be an interesting one to look out for as he goes up the rankings on the PlayStation side.
Yeah, definitely. And TM-ATB, you know, he fought really well. He really impressed me. He did really well against the guy. NM Lee would end me. You know, he'd do really well. I know he would do a fantastic job of kicking my ass, Doctor, is what I would say. And TM-ATB put up with a great fight against him right there, had him in moments. And if that went to the judge's decision, you know, he might have edged the second round, but the third round was incredibly close before that submission. So it was a fantastic fight and a great performance from both guys. If I'm him, I don't hold my head too low. You know, you might have an easier opponent on short notice opponent, and you know, NM Lee hasn't competed this season. But like I said, it's really hard in prime time. There's not a lot of easy fights.
There never is, but that is also what you get when it comes to the primetime guarantee. It's the primetime guarantee you put on every fight is going to be a killer no matter what you expect, no matter who you fight. Even if it seems like it's going to be a one-sided war in some cases, they normally are the best wars because those are just matched by the hairs of a thread before to be decided. But with that being said, we're going to move on to our Xbox side now. This is going to be Vex Chris versus the OJ. We're going to be middleweight, and by the looks of it, we're going to be having a Kevin Gastelum versus a Darren Till. Should be noted their record is 16-2, but as we very well know, Humble, it all changes under the bright light.
Yeah, definitely. And both of these guys this season are doing fantastically well. You know, both of these guys want to know. So undefeated kind of prospects. One of these guys is going to go 2-0 and someone's has to go. I'm guessing both of these guys are high up in the Xbox rankings in the actual in real life, Doctor, because they both have all them badges, and you can tell, you know, these two are going to deliver a great fight this evening with the picks to kind of pick in Kelvin Gastelum versus Darren Till. Two kind of difficult and unique characters to kind of use. Great kickboxing from Darren Till. Great sort of switch with Muay Thai as well. Isn't known for the best of ground game, but Kelvin Gastelum, all-round fighter, great boxer as well. And he's got that power in his hands.
Yeah, he's very aggressive. He's got a level 2 jab. I think both of them do, and it works really well. And so you've got to imagine if you're going to be either one of these persons, it's going to be about molding that jab around. It's going to be about using it and then really adapting it here. Yeah,
definitely. And as we're seeing, the one thing I noticed about these two, Kelvin Gastelum is notoriously thick. You see them shoulders and the width of his sort of back. He's very, very thick sort of fighter. He's came up from welterweight, actually, same as Till, but Till's got a bit more reach. He likes to overextend slightly, but that's what I believe Chris is going to have to struggle with here, the reach of OJ and Darren Till. He's got to come inside, he's got to pick his entries well, got to use his head movement to get in, and sometimes utilise that jab and wrestling maybe as well, Doc.
Well, slight correction on the name of the OJ. Apparently it's FeoJ. Apologies for that on both of the graphic as well as the commentary here. But sometimes that's the way it goes. You want your name, we're going to have to... Sometimes it's better off to send us a DM just so we're aware in the future. With that,
OJ!
or Humble will say it like that way. So far though, Vex Royale managing to put on a lot of pressure here, keeping Darren Till behind that black line and really controlling the pace of this fight. Lovely step out there as well.
Yeah, brilliant. Well, nice double jab coming through right there. A great opportunity right now to say,
okay.
Not an opportunity at all. The OJ correcting me. Not an opportunity at all as Darren Till unloads. He had that special combination right there, you know, the sort of leaning hook straight that Conor McGregor, Sean O'Malley, a few other fighters have.
I think Alex Pereira has it.
Yeah, it's a few people have it that and they throw it so fast. If you're not used to it, it's a rhythm changer, right, Doctor? It's like you're going 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, that's 1, 2, 3. It's just quick, it's fast. That's how you kind of get your opponents off. Beautiful work from Kelvin Gastelum, gets against the fence. Oh, he did a good job, OJ, there, pulling back against the fence, Doctor. He was nearly ended.
Yeah, the elbow coming now, expecting the counter on the pullback. Lovely slip of the jab there as well, and it's looking more and more like that Gastelum's just waiting to put the pace on.
Nice work right there comes through as I can hear Doctor starting to correct himself on that yawn right there, Doctor, as the jab comes through. Beautiful work from Kelvin Gastelum. I'm really liking the pressure, Doctor. He's pushing his opponent back towards that fence, behind that line. He's looking for the extra damage, isn't he? He's looking for the damage when he drops him against the fence and he gets to punch his head against that cage, and that can really be a difference in sort of ending the fight.
That's straight. The jab. It's just Gastelum doesn't waste a shot. That is what it is. He's every shot he fires is either to set up another shot or it's there to irritate his opponent. The jab gets thrown up in bunches.
Elbow!
Darren Till keeps looking like he's about to be out of the fight, and then suddenly he comes back, pushing him against the cage every single time. 1-2 hook over the top, follows through. 10 seconds left on the clock. Neither one of them seem out of this fight at all. That's a fight and a half.
I mean, I've fought some people where I've been pull elbowed a few times, and even one of my fights recently where everyone called
Darren
it.
Till won that. Looking at those stats, very close. He had 3 stuns to 2, and they were very close in significant strikes.
Was there 2 knockdowns?
Did he have 2 knockdowns? Don't you have knockdowns?
I'm not sure. We'd have to check. I thought he had 4 health events altogether, but we'd have to double check it. It was them pull elbows can really catch you. They're really damaging. You know, one of those shots can end you, and then they can drop you stiff as you're throwing a combination and make you incredibly vulnerable. You've got to be careful for them, and a good way to kind of deal with them is doubling up on your shots, the straight shots, to kind of stop your opponent. But that's when they start slip countering you, Doctor. So you've got a few tools. OJ's really trying to be defensively sound and use his counter striking, but Kelvin Gastelum is having none of it. He's took him on his back right now, and he's starting to work the body, work the head with little dinky shots right there.
Evidently realised the confidence he was feeling in that first round, although was good, he just didn't want to risk losing another round, and evidently wants to get on the ground. This time now we are back onto the feet. The hook there coming on to counter the jab. Gastelum pressuring the elbow, clips him and claps. Now the hook, and he's
revenge! The revenge! The pull elbow revenge!
I would say it's a revenge best served cold, but I don't know how humble it was. It was served warm on a platter and was rightly done. Elbows seemed to be the key in this fight, and they were both looking for pullbacks the entirety of it. Till managing to win the first, but Chris making the adjustments, going for the grappling just a bit, offsetting his opponent's ribbon on the feet, and then being able to exploit that and getting the win.
The knockout there through the guard, you know, he hits his arm, and obviously the arm hits his face, his chin hits his teeth hit his tongue, and his tongue knocks him out. It's the way it works in this game, Doctor. You know,
you just don't question it. That's the rule.
You just don't question it, no. You just don't question it, Doctor. But it is what it is, and great win there. I think it was a tough sort of win. He'd been knocked down 3 times, or rocked 3 times. The Ojo clearly knew something about his game. He had a bit of a game plan, but thanks, Chris. Good job of adjusting his game right at the end, catching him with the revenge pull elbow, not just a normal pull elbow, Doc. It's the revenge pull elbow.
Plus 10 to power.
Yeah, extra power. It gets extra 15 boost on that extra, revenge pull elbow, and knocks him clean out. But great win for Vex. Chris, he goes 2-0 in the Xbox division. It's not tough. It only gets harder from here, Doctor.
Yeah, it only does. Now, up next, we're going to have a man I mentioned earlier. It's going to be STK Cole versus Cloud MMA. MMA is still fairly new to the division, well adjusted across the board. Hopefully, they're going to be in featherweight with the picks of Yair versus Chang Sung Jung. But here we are with our guest commentator. It's going to be the man fighting tomorrow. It's going to be BFAP Trixie.
What's up, guys? How you doing?
Good, Trixie. Nice to have you, the GOAT of Primetime, finally doing some commentary with us. You know, you've seen fantastic fights, and you've been in some fantastic fights throughout Primetime history. Is there any fights this evening, Trixie, that you are hyped for?
One that I'm really hyped for is Driz and Cal, just because I know how good both players are. It's going to be a great fight.
Amazing. And we're going to get the next fight underway, Doctor, if we can get that on the screen. You said that picking one of my favourite fighters, Chan Sung Jung. I believe he's fighting Yair Rodriguez. Hopefully these two are going to be going. Well, look at this one.
Yair Rodriguez, brilliant pick. He has no power in his hand. He's got beautiful kicks. He's got brilliant health stats, but the man hits like pillows. Just
we have to remember, Trixie, these two have fought in real life, and Chan Sung Jung was winning that fight, you know, and he got caught with an elbow with about 5 seconds left. right at the end of the fight in that five-round main event. And he is a fantastic boxer with great power in his hands. He's also got good submissions on the ground as well. It'd be interesting to see how these players utilize these characters.
Yeah, I'm excited to see Yair use those kicks a lot more. Just try to keep that range a little bit, pick them apart.
Picking apart may be the aim of the game. It's a typical kickboxer versus boxing prowess. Jang Sung Jung does have a bit of that grappling prowess, but not the takedowns. So that may be something where Claudio May is going to have to really adapt his style and adapt Jang Sung Jung to be able to get him down on the mat. Although Colt is a striker, so don't expect him to be shooting takedowns. You never particularly know with the AAP. No, it's a league fight. Anything can happen here, Humble.
Yeah, Doctor, you've always got to remember the best takedown sometimes, as someone famously said, is a right hand. You hit somebody with something and then they shoot. A lot of Chan Sung Jung's wins have come against like Dustin Poirier, against Leonard Garcia, when they've shot for a takedown after he's put some pressure on the feet. He's hurt them, they've shot, and then they've gone into a takedown, similar to Nate Diaz, similar to a lot of other fighters. It's a bit different on this game though, Trixie. A lot of people don't naturally shoot with strikers unless they're at a high level and they feel comfortable with that grappling, but beautiful leg kick right there.
That was a beautiful
Trixie.
Down gets denied. Want to see more of that.
What would you do right now, Trixie, if you're Chan Sung Jung to try to kind of combat that leg kick?
I definitely try to just work the low block a little bit. Keep a little bit more range, just the long shots. Got the bail, back take.
Nice work right there. Takes the back draw, immediately jumps in it. He's in a dangerous position right now, but that rear naked choke is it is blocked. Can't do it in prime time. It's illegal to do that, Doctor, because of the strength of it. And get a nice position right now. The denial, Doctor.
Lovely denial there as well. I'm going to assume the leg stun early on that we saw was due to a takedown in year time, and we're now on the ground. So far, so well. It does look like the building of GA is definitely going to the favourite of Cole, but again, you're now in half guard, Trixie. You got to imagine if you're Chan Sung Jung, you're going to be looking for a more dominant position here.
Oh yeah, definitely. Going to try to stretch this out as far as he can. I think this is his easiest path to victory, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's a nice reversal right now, though, and he's dangerous off his back. He does have a lot of submissions there. It's all about that stamina again, though. I guess I didn't even know Chan Sung Jung had the rubber guard. Beautiful work. He's going to go for some elbows. He's had some denials already, but doesn't get one right there, Doctor.
Yeah, but if you're you're happy, you're in top. However, it's Jang Sung Jung. The man's got submissions, he's got rubber guards, and you're still in his full guard. You could be looking to get reversals. If you're you need to get out of it quickly, Trixie.
Oh, now it's going to be bad. After you get the first denial, it's just elbows all day. Just going to keep raining them down one after another. Keep the GA.
It really does. It's a demoralizing position. You take that head health. Cole's no slouch as well. Cole's a great player in the PlayStation division. He usually doesn't make certain mistakes. So beautiful work right there to get out of it though from Cole. And I didn't expect him to be put in that position so many times, Doctor.
Yeah, well, if you can get, as Trixie said, if you can get the nod, your GA massively builds up, and that's purely just because you out of shots. Because the more you punch, the more you elbow in that position, the higher your GA bar actually goes up, making the denials easier, making your opponent's transition slower, so it's easier to hold the entire piece. Now looking to fake into top mount, does get put back into full guard. Coming to the end of the round though, 3 seconds left, does have a disengagement there, Trixie, but with that, that's most likely Chan Sung Jung, and he's got to make sure to what does he need to adapt coming into the second round here?
He definitely needs to establish a little bit more of a takedown defense in terms of stamina, because it seems to me that he just wants to bail on him. So if he can just keep the stamina at a higher point, he wouldn't have to worry about that as much.
Yeah, and exactly that. You said before as well, Doctor, just where it says you silly casuals, the grappling advantage. A lot of people don't actually know what that is. A lot of new players who come, a lot of people watching as well. I'll go back to Trixie on this one. They don't actually know what the grappling advantage is. Trixie, can you give us a quick, brief description of what that is?
So the grappler advantage is basically a meter for your transition to go faster in terms of you being able to hit them, and then your transition will be faster the higher that your bar gets.
100%. You can see that at the top right at the moment as well, the red and blue bar, Doctor, as these two have been battling position, fighting for it over and over again in the centre of the octagon, and we've now got Chan Sung Jung go for the takedown, gets back to his feet, and he's in a good position right now to control his opponent, Doctor.
Does go for the slam there beautifully. Gets to get up, doesn't get it, gets denied. 3 minutes on the clock is a long time to work. If you're Chan Sung Jung, he's had a lot of success the first time round. Does go for the undeniable on crucifix, and now you got to imagine you're Shang Tsung Jung. You're probably gonna be either looking for another crucifix attempt, maybe in a top mount. But as I say, that yeah, puts him into a half guard here, Trixie.
Oh yeah, this is Chan Sung Jung's world. You know, he just wants to stay down here, just minimize the damage, just basically just look for a submission or ground and pound, and he gets reversed.
I was going to say, if he gets switched as well, Trixie's got that rubber guard that he knows he can rely on, so he's going to look for some denials to get back to that full guard to start setting that up. And this is going to be his chance right now as he builds that GA, as you can see, gets back to rubber guard. And this is a really dangerous time for Rodriguez, Doctor.
Gets a deny there as well. Now starting with the elbows, just constantly cutting through. You do see a lot of elbows to the head, but it should also be noted you can digs to the body, and they are very effective, especially when you work with your opponent's stamina, which if you're going to be engaging in grappling more tricks, you can attest to having, if your opponent's got lower stamina, it's an easier time for you.
Oh yeah, if they have a lot of stamina, definitely work the body, but I just prefer to work the head just to have the damage, you know.
It's going to help you going forwards in the fight as well. You're going to have another option. And he's done a lot of damage. If I'm Rodriguez right now, I'm sick of this ground game. I'm thinking I don't want to be here anymore. He's constantly threatened. I'm getting kind of dominated in that rubber guard position. I'm getting chipped away. It's only going to make it harder for me to finish him on the feet. And now he's back to the feet. He really needs to put a stamp on this round, because I do think Chan Sung Jung has been controlling this fight so far, Doctor.
Now engaging in it, the head health is extremely low, as you can see. Spinning heel kick. Evidently the frustration of the grappling has kicked in. Trixie, you've got to imagine if you're Cole, you need to just dig deep, realise you're just frustrated, and try to not get too frustrated, and instead look for openings.
Oh yeah, look for openings. Look to calm down a little bit. You know, obviously, after this round, he'd have been down 2 rounds in my opinion. So he's definitely got to look for something big while being patient at the same time.
Couldn't agree more. Yeah, in my opinion, it's 2 rounds down. Who knows? Though the judges' scorecards could completely swing one way with this third round, and he's got to do something. He's nearly got full stamina. He's really got to kind of stop these takedowns, and mainly the positioning. You know, Chan Sung Jung's really going to get him against the fence, knocks him right there, and he hurts him. Doctor, he's going for the finish. Head kick on the
what a
chin.
head kick.
Head kick on a stun, yeah, and the hook nearly clips him. That was a suddenly dangerous moment. The stamina actually lower in Chan Sung, but both of them still seem fresh as Daisy's from the first round, trying to hook with the lead hook there, as well as the knee following suit. The uppercut
nice.
and it's looking
he dodges it.
Oh my god, Chan Sung Jung wants to put on this pressure non-stop here, Trixie.
He's looking for the counter right now. It's just Jung. He's throwing all these single shots, so he's like his head movement's not on.
Yeah, he definitely isn't. Oh, nice work right there. He finally gets one, and I'm looking for the big kicks. You know that he's got to get someone back right now. He's got to throw the kitchen sink at the use of the casual. Cole is not a bad player. He's an experienced player. He's been in this position plenty of times. Now is the time to show his veteran savvy. He's ranked number 10 at the moment in the PlayStation division, so the casual's looking to steal that spot at the moment, Doctor, and he's doing a great job so far in this fight. He's been undeniable at trying to take that W.
Well, the uppercuts are also coming out. The lead hook, the straights are also following as well. Does go for switch kick, doesn't land fluidly. Hooked a galore. A death kick following suit. Doesn't seem a little too late. And with 2 minutes 30 on the clock, it's looking slowly like Rodriguez is going to really have to dig deep here, Trixie.
Oh yeah, definitely. He has to pull something out the bag right now. I mean, he's already gotten rocked twice. It doesn't really. Oh, there's a good little combo right there, followed with a wheel kick. Another straight.
Gets his head health down slightly, but he's not quite hitting the mark right there where he needs to kind of counter. And great work mixing it up from the silly casual, but he doesn't. Oh, nice work comes through the nice knee. Beautiful work, catches him wrong. This could be it.
Hooks are straights now, digging down the head movement at the end, confusing his opponent. We have seen a KO again through the block.
Casual gets it done.
Casual does get it done, and he gets it done in brilliant fashion. I felt like he didn't put many a foot wrong there, Trixie.
No, definitely not. He played everything perfect in my opinion. You know, get the takedown early, hold him there, get the damage, and then finish it on the feet. Couldn't have went better.
Brilliant work, Doctor. And he's going to be happy with that. He just beat number 10 in the PlayStation rankings. It's not easy. There's currently, I believe, there's about 90 competitors already, something like that, in PlayStation already competed. So getting a win over number 10 is going to elevate you. It's going to give you more points. When you fight somebody who's higher ranked, you're going to get more points for that win. And that's going to push you a bit higher. You do, in prime time, you do get rewarded for the harder fights, you know, and that's why it's so important.
Yep, the point system works to mean that you get more points. If your opponent has more points than you, you lose more points. If your opponent has less points than you, it also means if you get an earlier finish, that you'll get more points as well. So make sure you get earlier finishes and you keep managing to put on performance after performance after performance to make the matchmakers aware of you, because all the matchmaking is done for records. But then if you're similar records and you have had a notable performance as well as having very early knockouts, that's just going to push you harder with the points, and you're going to have a more successful time trying to get into the top 15. But with all that being said, we're going to go on to our featured prelim of the night. Trixie, there's going to be ICB Lepo versus B3 Blackout in the lightweight division.
You know, I just seen this fight too, and I'm actually really excited about this fight as well. I fought both of these guys plenty of times, and it's going to be a stand-up affair. Lepo, he's got amazing counters, but Blackout, he's got wonderful pressure. I know firsthand, so yeah. I'm just really intrigued for this matchup as well.
I was going to say, didn't you fight Blackout for maybe a belt or a number one contender spot recently? And you had a great game plan for him, I believe you finished him in the third round, if I'm correct. And, you know, we've known Blackout to be, Trixie, one of those guys who's a fantastic fighter, but he's finding himself in a tough spot. He's currently 2-2 in prime time. He's in a position where he's fighting in the prelims at the featured belt, where he was fighting in the main event against the likes of yourself as a champion and as a guy fighting for a title shot, essentially. And now he's in this position where he's defending against Lepo.
Oh, yeah, I want to see, you know, Blackout, he's starting to come into himself a little bit more. You know, you can just tell with how he fights. He's not as nervous as he used to be, you know, just pressure heavy in there, concentrated.
100%. People don't realize about that, Doctor. When you're fighting at live events, it's completely different from fighting at ranked. I remember when I first kind of came into the esports scene and I beat somebody called, I think it was Sick War. You know, and I seen his name pop up somewhere on a Twitter or whatever, and I said, I beat that guy because he was really highly ranked in the PlayStation side. And then someone said fight him in a league, and I fought him and he smoked me in about 30 seconds. The league nerves and league jitters are completely real, and it gets difficult to kind of control those nerves. The higher you fight, you know, the higher ranked you are. It takes a lot of fights to get used to it.
Yeah, it does. And I don't think it ever goes away. I think Trixie can attest to it. Is that they always still exist, and no matter what your position is, you're just gonna have to fight against it. It's making sure to stay calm and composed and figure out ways in which you can cope with it. Sometimes people like a corner, some people like peace and quiet, some people have a maddening ritual before you fight, but it's about working it out and then still putting on the performance of your life each and every time here, Trixie.
Yeah, definitely. You know, jitters are a real thing. Just and even during the fight, you know, it can still be there, especially when you get rocked or get put into a submission. You could panic a little bit, and Definitely. It can be very hard. Humble.
And this is a fight I never thought I'd want to see in real life as well. Max Holloway versus George Masvidal. It sounds like an interesting fight. You know, these two. Really known, beautiful work. Blackout's doing a great job. He's been really contested. Beautiful straight shot down the middle. Gets him against the fence. Gets that extra damage. And Lepo is in real trouble, Doctor.
Blackout has an ability to punch you so many times that he gasses himself out. And I mean, if Lepo wants to go with that game plan, he can do, but I would highly suggest also working the body in the meantime. It's seeming like Blackout is just going through that block. He does not care for it. He wants to get out. That was a lovely overhand. Digs down up top, comes over the top as well, but it seems still looking like these two are very back and forth in their pace. The block and Masvidal is definitely shot, but he's now starting to find the counters.
Wow. Yeah, just like I was saying, you know, Blackout, he's going to try to apply that pressure, and Lepo is going to look for a counter, and we've seen it on both ends already. Humble.
Yeah, he's landing a really nice uppercut every time as well. He's knocked him down with that uppercut, and I can see him ending it with his shot. He kind of delays it slightly, Trixie. He kind of throws the two-piece as he would, delays that uppercut, and it's catching him off guard. Beautiful shot from Lepo right there. But he did get a rock back. We've got to take that to note, and that's really important.
Oh yeah, Lepo. He's trying to even out this head health right now. It's just a really tough task when you got Max Holloway standing in front of you. Doc.
Yeah, Max Holloway has the cardio, he has the chin, he has every type of health stat you want, and he's got the punch speed. The main issue is his power, but that doesn't seem to matter when Masvidal's nearly at death's door. The straight still hooked, but the cardio just a bit too low to try and get the finishing touch there. Jesus Christ, that was close.
Nice work right there. Now he lands in side control. He's going to get a chance to kind of chip away here, Trixie. Really important to learn this as part of your game as well. And you've got to, once you do that damage on the feet, once you get him in a position, if you're not able to finish him with the ground and pound, but you end up in an advantageous position like top mount, side control, any of these positions, you've got to do some work from here.
Oh yeah, definitely. You definitely got to get that damage. Oh, and he got a rock at the end too. What a round.
Blackout. I was really ending the round strong, Doctor. You've got to be confident if you're going into the second with him.
You really have to be. But we now enter into the second round. Masvidal recovery is quite high. Not Masvidal's recovery quite high. Holloway's recovery is quite high, as you can see. My head health already leaned to a knockdown. That head health is blinking. Oh my God, Jesus! I'm scared for Masvidal.
He's styling. No prisoners in this one. He's really going for it. He survives again. I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing. I've got the towel in my hand from his corner, Trixie.
Oh, this is...
Stop the fight!
It has to be it.
Stop the fight! Stop the fight! Oh my God! Imagine! Oh, imagine! Oh my God! Oh, this is why you can't do that in these type of fights. Imagine. Thank you, Max, for not continuing to pummel his face in. Neely.
Oh my God! It's the fact that Lepo got the stun and the knockdown at the end. I was already sat up from the absolute hell of a war they were having, but that made me sit up straighter. Jesus Christ, that was close. The ending seemed anticlimactic to that mad bit just before. Congratulations to Blackout. Condolences to Lepo. You came out, you tried your best, you looked for the counter shots, you landed them, but Blackout and the relentless throwing of Max Holloway just did not stop, Trixie.
Oh yeah, Lepo, you know, he had his moments here and there in that fight, but it kind of just looked like Blackout took over from the beginning, you know? Just
he came out, Trixie had that game plan and he stuck to it, and it was really difficult, wasn't it? It was really, really difficult for Lepo to kind of implement his own game plan in there. He was kind of dealing with the pressure. He was being reactive instead of proactive, and when you're reactive on this game, you can go behind, and that's when the problems start.
Oh yeah, definitely. You definitely gotta try to like keep your game plan when you're in there. And it can be hard when people switch it up on you or implement their game plan better.
Definitely. And Doctor, that takes us to our main card of this evening. We've had a great fight throughout the night. We've got some fantastic fights coming up. But tell us, who is the next fight of this evening?
Well, our main card is going to be looking like this. We do have STK Oracle versus Class E47 in the featherweight division starting up. Following that, we're going to be having Pablo G, part of the B3 camp, versus Cass. That's going to be middleweight. After that, we're going to have Austin, a late replacement, against Kai Films in the welterweight. And then to top off in our co-main event, we'll be having Storm versus Gigi Gecko in the middleweight division. After that, we're going to have our co-main and main event that are looking to be stacked from top to bottom and probably quite influential into our Xbox division tonight. But first, let's begin with our first main card fight of this evening. By the looks of it, they're going to be wanting to go Volkanovski and Arnold Allen.
Ooh, interesting picks, Trixie. Arnold Allen, I believe, doesn't look like anything like Arnold Allen in real life on this game. His body type is very weird, but in real life and with his stats, he is a fantastic fighter. I do think this fight should happen, but Volkanovski has got probably some of the best stats on this game. He has got the best movement and some of the best recovery as well. It's going to be difficult to kind of put him away.
Oh yeah, Volkanovski is one of my favorite fighters in this weight class. But Arnold Allen, you know, he's kind of a sleeper after these last couple buffs. So I'm interested to see what he can do with him.
Right. And the picks are now up as well. Predictions in the chat. If you're new to Prime Time, we do let you kind of contribute with your channel points. If you look in the chat right now, you can put your predictions in. Who do you think are going to win in this main card? You have about a minute left to predict either Clarky or Oracle. All the money's gone on Clarky right now. A lot of confidence in Clarky Doctor. Doesn't mean anything with the record, as we've seen, 16-7. One of those wins from 7 could come in tonight. It's all about the pressure, the bright lights, and who performs tonight.
Yeah, the bright lights are always the most important, and as we discussed earlier as well, league nerves also play a massive role in this, so it's about who can maintain it more. Looking like Volkanovski is wanting to put the more pressure on, playing very aggressively, but Arnold Allen digging that body, looking to work the cardio as soon as he can, but Volkanovski just coming forward like an angry midget, looking to knock your head off.
I'm a midget.
I mean, he's quite short, but to be fair, he's fairly similar height to Arnold Allen in this case.
Volkanovski and midget. Jesus.
He's got very long reach, to be fair, Trixie.
He does.
Oh yeah, he's got long reach. With Volk, you kind of have to stand in the pocket to get your damage off. With him being so short. That was a good rear hook by Allen.
Nice work right there. Yeah, Allen's kind of underwhelming on this game, but he's very good in real life. He's very, very strong. He's very good at finishing as well. I believe his physique and his body type is underappreciated. He's got a very strong upper half, and he trains with Faraz Sahabi as well. GSP's old coach, if you're unsure, at TriStar, spends most of his time there doing his training sessions with top quality sparring partners and coaches, Doctor, and that's going to give him some brilliant striking, brilliant wrestling, and overall game as well in MMA.
Is Arnold Allen one of your favourite fighters?
Hey, he's English, Doctor.
No, fair enough. Elbows coming out by Volkanovski, playing the aggressive game all he can. Arnold Allen is throwing back very effectively. That body kick is playing massive games here. I'm surprised how similar the stamina is. If anything, he's going into the favour of Arnold Allen here, Trixie.
Oh yeah, Allen, he definitely has the advantage as of right now. He's just got to work out those long strikes a little bit. Try to keep the pressure off him more already. Got the slip elbow into the rear upper.
Oh, that's straight low, getting the knockdown. Now going to the ground and pound. The hook's coming out the straights. Slipped into the back sitting position by Arnold, but he's down the knockdown and decides to roll over into backside, hoping to get a damage. Instead, though, goes to top mount. Could look for a back mount with the RNC. Both are legal from that position, just not from back sit.
Yeah, it's difficult because when you do get to that position, Trixie, and you knock your opponent down, you've probably felt this with certain rules of the ESFL and Prime Time as well. You get to that position in a normal fight, you're usually going for that rear naked. You can try and end the fight with that, as they've made the mistake. In here, you've kind of got only a few options to go with, either kind of stalling, or you've got the arm bar, and then you can go to mount, essentially. And not a lot of options, but he does a good job of keeping on top and keeping the damage going.
Yeah, definitely. I think because of the knockdown, Arnold just needs to work this out. He's already down this round. Just try to survive as much, and he stands up.
Oh, he needs to be careful of not getting knocked down again. He doesn't want to go into the second round with multiple knockdowns against him. He needs to reset, essentially, Doctor, and kind of forget this one.
Oh, the hook there was to stun. The uppercut.
Oh,
Gassy.
That was amazing.
Jesus.
He needed that head movement right there.
Yeah, he really did. He got stunned at the end. Arnold couldn't take any more punches. He moved his head so well and able just to avoid all the shots. I think those body kicks are what Allen wants to go to. He can get the distance sorted and he can just kick into those body kicks and not get counted on that straight like he did there to get them knocked down to then cause all that grief. Then he'll have a lot of success, but the issue is making sure to read your opponent, zigging when you need to zig and zagging when you need to zag here, Humble.
Yeah, definitely. And the betting lines kind of switched last moment on these ones, just to give you a bit of insight. People were betting on Clarky at the start of this one, and then they switched it up last minute, Trixie, as the odds sometimes do. 62% people bet on Oracle to win this fight, and I think they're going to be happy with their money so far, as Clarky seems to be the underdog with 38%.
Oh, yeah, definitely. It looks like, Clarky's he's kind of got the
Trixie, that was beautiful.
It was a beautiful knockdown. I really just think he needs to work jabs, a little bit of teeps here and there. Just try to throw him off a little bit, keep a little bit of range, get the pressure off of him.
He just needs something to deter Volkanovski from staying in his face, putting all the pressure on, and then just slowly throwing all the combo he can at him. And head kick pull back, kicking clean. That should have been a KO, I'll be quite honest. But somehow he manages to slip past Volkanovski, only just being slipped. Now we got top mount, and this can change it all. Jesus wept.
Sorry,
go. No, go. You go, Trix.
I was gonna say this is definitely what Allen needs. Well, not really in full guard, but I think he definitely needs to get some damage on the ground. The stand up is just not working in his favor. Good deny right there. Probably look to pass.
Similar point to you, I think he needs a denial. When he gets that top mount position, if he gets a denial, he can put his opponent in real trouble, but he just needs to really concentrate on trying to get a denial, maybe building some ground and pound and not anticipating it as well, try to put himself in a good position to deny that transition is more important sometimes, Trixie, than actually, just concentrating on blocking it initially.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I prefer to just work the GA in terms of like looking for a denial because it's so hard when they have full GA, and against a Volkanovski, it can be difficult. And there's the reverse by Volk.
Why guess when you can kind of guarantee it, Doctor, and he gets a good position right now? And it seems like in this fight so far, he's slightly been outclassed. He really needs. I was going to go back to the point earlier on. He needs to kind of go back to them jabs and teeps like Trixie said, but he really needs to let the Oracle overthrow, catch him when he's vulnerable, like he did at the end of that round, end of the first round. Catch him kind of trying to finish him, trying to get that finish.
It's looking like it's going to be over, and the ground and pound now going down, only just keeping alive. The slip of the hook.
Oh, wow.
So close. What I was about to say, it looked like Allen was the more technical, I want to say. He was the more well-adjusted. He had the ideas, but he couldn't implement them as well as he wanted to. And Volkanovski was able to explode, put that pressure on, and just kind of brute force it in the man. That's not to say you didn't have technique, because he did, evidently. You always have to have technique when you are in a fight, but he had a bit more of that brute force, that bit more of the power, which you come along with Volkanovski, and he was just able to get rid of any of that technical prowess that Allen could have brought to the tower, and he really used that to the best of his ability.
Oh yeah, just fighting a Volk, Volk's just so good in this game. It's really hard to get any sort of advantage on him if you don't do it early. Humble.
Yeah, definitely. He's one of my favorite characters to use. He's had so many upgrades. He is literally the only guy, apart from maybe John. John's not even fighting at the moment. He's literally the only guy, apart from Izzy, maybe, that you can kind of rate up there pound for pound. He hasn't kind of put a foot wrong. Beat everyone he's supposed to be. He's beat the old pound for pound, one of the old pound for pound goats in Max Holloway, I think twice or three times now, I think. And it's got to the point now where he's going to be fighting Islam, and he's difficult because he just keeps getting better. And on this game, he's almost untouchable at the moment. He's like the old sort of Conor McGregor and the old Max Holloway that we used to complain about a lot.
Yeah, he's very well adjusted. He's a beautiful character across the board. He's got all aspects. He's got the footwork, the grappling, the striking. If you need a guy to play anywhere, he's your guy. But we're going to move on to our next main card fight. Obviously, it does seem like, though, the next two opponents haven't got the memo that you can pick above 4 stars, because it looks like we're going to be having a Conor McGregor versus a Jorge Masvidal.
Some people like Conor McGregor, Doctor. You know this, Trixie. There's a certain bunch of people on this game that will only play Conor McGregor. You don't understand. It's like tunnel vision. You don't understand there's other characters to play.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I've definitely been there a couple times. But, Conor at welterweight, he kind of has some of the best, punching stats in terms of everything, Just, he's got the power. He's got the most speed other than Wonder Boy. But Conor against Jorge, I think this is a really good matchup.
I'm not
right.
I'm not confused about the McGregor bit, but I am a bit confused about Masvidal, not gonna lie. It's welterweight. You've got pick like Edwards, you've got pick like Usman, you've got Burns, you've got Khamzat, you've got all these names who would be better suited against the McGregor, and you've gone Masvidal.
But sometimes, Doctor, you've got to realise this, that, and Trixie will probably testify to it as well. You're not looking to expose your opponent's weaknesses. You're looking to implement your game rather than try and deter away from it. And some people have a certain game style that they like to fight like. And Cass, currently, He currently classes 3-0, so him as McGregor is going to be tough. And Pablo G's on a win streak. Number 5, number versus 14 here, cast defending his spot. And potentially this could be someone that Trixie might see down the line as well, Trix.
Oh yeah, I fought Pablo G. I haven't seen Cass fight, but I definitely know he's a good player just by the way that this fight's going right now. Good little head body by Cass. Just got to work to get a little bit more damage on Pablo G's end.
Really feeling out his opponents right now, Doctor. He's kind of edging his way, and I think Pablo G trying to get a footing in this fight. And McGregor really tough, as Trixie talked about earlier on, good punching stats in this division. I feel like the reach advantage and the length is going to be utilized by Pablo.
Oh. The uppercut, the straight, the hooks. Trying his down to the way, making the jabs known, then the hooks, then the straight, the double hooks, the uppercut, the hooks.
Oh my God! How is he standing?
What?
We've seen this a few times tonight. Your opponent is backing them into a corner, and your opponent has nowhere to go because of the footwork and the way you've controlled the fight. So they're back in the cage, and then you're just winging at shots as they can. And the rear hook landing all the shots he wants now into his clinch position. Looking like we're going to end up with a bit of grappling. Decides against it, goes for the knee, and then Reed backs off into that centre line, which is where he wants to hold. McGregor's comfortable holding that centre position, and it gives him all the control to come back and forth when needed.
I really think that Pablo G is going to start attacking that body, Trixie. I don't know about you, but I can see over sort of utilization of combinations and leaning and movement from McGregor, which is going to leave that body vulnerable. And obviously the grab, the stamina is going to be, you might not need it though. Beautiful work from Pablo.
I was just going to say, Dev, he's really good with these intercepted combos, but right now it looks like Cass is taking over, just teeing off on him.
It's that footwork of McGregor, that stance. You can see him bouncing from foot to foot, coming back and forth, and then coming back again just to try to engage his opponent. The way he's using the footwork to come forward, establish that he's going to come forward, and then backing out to let his opponent come forward to then come in with his own counter shots afterwards. It's kind of like, okay, come on, I'm going to come forward, but then you come forward and then kind of come back. But then Masvidal making a good reads there, getting it, but the gas tank just mean he can't land it fully with the full power.
Or he completely misses. This is the thing, though. I've seen there's a lot of great striking and good shots coming from Cass, but also not a lot of good shots as well coming from Cass, Trixie. I don't know if you've seen what I've seen, but there seems to be a lot of missed whiffs right there that could be counterable.
Oh yeah, it looks like Cass is like starting to feel himself a little bit too much, with that whiffed spinning head kick. But I definitely think if he just pulls himself together, he could.
Uppercuts, doubles up on it there. The head kick being the main shot. Trades on the hooks. McGregor getting the best of it. Masvidal trying his best to come back. Uppercuts, both of their blocks are absolutely shot, but it's just a case of who can make the better intercepting strike. You mentioned Pablo having good interception strikes, but so has Cass so far tonight.
Ooh, both these guys throwing a lot of dexterity in the combinations, a lot of risky sort of combinations as well with those kicks and the spinning kicks, and I feel like the stamina of Cass and Pablo G really needs to kind of utilize on that. Uppercut comes through, he's got against the fence.
Trying his damnedest, the uppercuts, Jesus!
Oh wow!
And the head kick jumps down into the guard. Cass's cardio isn't doing well. Could go for a guillotine, goes to the get up, gets denied. Is McGregor going to aim to keep this on the feet? Why do you have to both be named with an M at the beginning of your name? Top mount!
Immediate switch. Beautiful work right there, Trixie.
Oh yeah, now Pablo G, sorry. Pablo G definitely needs to try to work this a little bit. It seems like he's getting outstriked a little bit on the feet. Maybe just try to get a little bit of damage. Just chip that block a little bit. And
now he's looking like a position that nope.
No more. The hammer fist comes down, raining down a really good performance. 4-0. He was right up there at number 4 in the division. Now he's going to be pushing a bit higher up there with Caliber, Dirty Dave, Trixie and Donna, knocking on that door, Trixie. I know that you've got a big title fight coming up tomorrow. This guy trying to put his name on the map and become a threat, essentially undefeated fighter at the moment.
Oh yeah, Cass looked great in that fight. you know, he didn't play it perfectly, but when he needed to, he definitely got the shots off.
Excellent work, Doctor. He's going to do a brilliant job of taking out another opponent. It's really difficult to stay undefeated in prime time for a long period of time. He managed to do it in 4 fights so far. That's going to set us up nicely for the next fight of the season.
Yep, next fight of the season will be Austin JG versus Kai Films. Austin's been around the block a couple of times. Originally starting on the Xbox side, moved over into the PlayStation side now and looking to make his name there. Kai Films starting to make a return slowly but surely, well adapted in all areas of the game, mainly a grappler if I remember correctly. He was around at the very beginning of when our PlayStation started, evidently took a break, now coming back into our roster looking to compete, and with a name like Austin JG, that's a tough fight ahead. We are going to be in welterweight, but looks of it, we're going to have a Conor McGregor pick versus a Colby Covington.
Quick question, Doc. Is this Xbox or PlayStation? Because both of these guys have got both consoles. So is it Xbox or PlayStation?
Does Kai have Xbox?
Yeah, he's fought on Xbox before.
Well, it's PlayStation either way. I'm pretty sure Kai is only on PlayStation though.
I've seen him fight on Xbox, I believe, anyway. Maybe I'm wrong. But Kai is he's a fantastic grappler, by the way. He's really good in certain positions. Mount is one of his favourite positions. He will pre-deny pretty much all of your stuff from mounted. He's got to be careful. I'm fighting Austin soon, so I'm going to be keeping a close eye on this fight, Trixie.
Oh, yeah, you know, Austin with the Conor pick in welterweight. We see it once again. You know, it's really not a bad pick, but against the Colby, you know, Colby's got the chin and the wrestling to counteract the reach and the strength. So
yeah, definitely. Before we throw it back to Doctor, they're better now, back open again. Are you going with Austin or are you going with Kai Films, Doctor? Both of these guys, fantastic competitors. It'll be interesting to see who people are putting the money on.
I mean, purely based on picks, I'm going for Austin because fuck Colby Covington.
Oh, wow.
I said it.
Oh, wow.
I said
the
it.
biasry and the commentary, Trixie. I know you're your first day. A stint today, you do a fantastic job, by the way. That's not what you do right there. He goes with against the Colby Covington, and Kai Films is going to have an issue with you after that one. Conor McGregor is got a lot of fans.
Oh, yeah. It seems like Kai's not readying up yet, but...
he's probably listening, the Doctor. That's the reason he decided to take it. He's probably starting to climb that tree because of you, Doctor. You know, people in the chat right now said, "How dare you? How dare you, Doctor?" Don't worry, Doctor's opinion is usually trash, and on this occasion it might be trash again. It is what it is, Trixie. It is what it is, you know.
Well, someone takes up all the talking space, so I can't get a comeback in. Both of these guys are well adjusted in multiple cases. Austin's typically a striker. Colby Covington evidently indicating Kai's going to be the more grappling heavy approach. Does seem to be a more typical grappler versus striker here. Hopefully Kai readies up soon. One would hope.
Hopefully. I wonder if our team in the truck can kind of get that sorted as we're going into this one. But, you know, you did touch upon it, Trixie, and you did mention, like, the amount of different dexterity that Colby Covington has. The grappling is obviously the key, and also just the ability to chain wrestle and kind of put that all together.
Oh, yeah, definitely he can train wrestle. But the thing about Colby is he's got a lot of kicks, too, so he can definitely mix those into the mix as well. But I definitely want to see Colby, you know, be more hands-on in terms of, like, the grappling and the wrestling.
The main difference in terms of striking ability is, one, Colby Covington has the cardio. Two, he doesn't have very much power. So Hugh McGregor here, you want to play very aggressive early on, look to make yourself known, because if you know you're going to get taken down, you might as well do all the damage on the feet that you can and then really start to explode after your opponent has gassed themselves out trying to take you down here, Trixie.
Oh, yeah, he's definitely going to try to... Oh,
Nice.
there's that already with the deny. You know, that's what Kai needs as the Colby player. He just needs to force it early, you know. He definitely doesn't want to face a round one Conor McGregor.
Yeah, also looks really nice and composed as well. He's, like, ready. You know when you're playing somebody who's kind of good at grapple, it's nice sometimes, Trixie, I don't know about yourself, when some of your opponent picks a grappler and you kind of know them with grappler because you know what you're in for, right? It's worse when you go into a striking match with someone who's got a bit of both and they start to take you down. They start to surprise you slightly just as you start getting in your rhythm as a striker. Whereas you go into a fight like this, you're kind of already defensively sound as you step into the octagon.
Oh yeah, it's definitely the full MMA guys that will do their best work in terms of everything, but it's just getting it everywhere. Because against the counter, it is not that easy, especially with the footwork and the range.
Yeah, his ability to be able to land each and every power shot here so far by Austin, having a lot of success, does get the takedown nearly, but it's that stamina there that I think Austin's going to have to worry about the most. It's making sure to maintain that stamina against someone like Colby Covington to then keep on this pace for at least another 2 rounds minimum.
I'm really impressed with Austin so far, the way he's moving in and out, the way he's kind of picking his rhythm, his shot selection. He's kind of controlling the fight, in my opinion, with that. He needs to be careful of that, though. Those shots could end the fight. Exactly. Trixie nearly reacted right there to a knee that landed as he ducked. Beautiful work. Kai coming down the middle, catching him again, Trixie. And he's starting to find his rhythm, Kai is.
Oh yeah, Kai is definitely starting to feel a little bit more comfortable in there, starting with the slip counters and shooting again. He's went the same way 3 times. I don't know if I could agree with that, but definitely he's mixing it up. So, props.
Yeah, he needs to mix that up and kind of change that angle. Maybe he's trying to get his opponent to think that, you defend that a few times and then some people will do that. You don't expect it, right, Doc? Like, they'll go through the same way 3 times. Do you expect them the opposite way coming?
Yeah, sometimes it's that. Sometimes it's just a grappler's habit. Sometimes you have a preferred entry. Either it's a single leg into that jab or it's a turning takedown one way or another. It's just, it's sometimes grapplers just have a preferred entry and they can't get it. They really struggle. And flying knee lands there, but so far this is looking more and more like it's McGregor's side. The stamina on both ends is very similar, basically due to the striking ability of McGregor constantly landing, but also the takedowns of Kai here. So they're both they've evened out in terms of actual damage and knee. Jesus!
What a sequence to end that round. Jesus Christ, he rocked him and immediately went into, it's almost like a string combination there, Trixie, and lands that, whoever's to message him as well, behave, like that. But he landed that flying knee right there straight into the chin as his opponent ducked.
Okay.
He's hit him with the same counter twice.
He catches him back. Oh my days. These 2 guys.
This is a completely different fight now.
What happened?
They've pissed each other off.
What happened? We were having a competitive slow fight 2 seconds ago, and now we're just in a barney and a half.
Fireworks have been set off, Doctor. There's no longer. I've got to think as well, Trixie. This is going to favour Kai. This crazy slobber knocker. He goes straight back to
Oh my
days.
What happened?
Austin decided to get into that barn burner with Colby Covington, and it kind of favoured Kai at the end of Trixie.
Oh yeah, Austin, he definitely was just trying to get him out of there or try to get some sort of head health advantage, and ended up paying the price for it. He was doing great with the takedown denials, and I think just all those denials gave him confidence to just stand in the pocket, and he paid dearly.
It's almost like they kind of pissed each other off for a second, Doctor, and they were like trying to throw both their best shots at each other, and then kind of continued that was Austin, and Kai was like, okay, here comes the counter, and got him, he was waiting for it. It's kind of almost like a bait. He got him into a slugfest, landed a brilliant combination, took the round off him with a knockdown maybe. I'm not quite sure because I can't remember the amount of knockdowns each. But then Austin came out different. That wasn't the same Austin that was controlling the fight for 4 minutes of that round.
I think he was desperate for some form of finish. Like, he knew for a fact he just lost that first round after having such success. He thought that a head help would have been lower. It turns out it wasn't, and he just got into a massive brawl that, because of the counters Kai kept setting up, it just allowed a bigger vulnerability window and ended up with that. And then that ground and pound to finish, that was perfect. A lot of straights, a lot of hooks, and Austin couldn't get a read on it, couldn't get a reversal, and that ended up getting him finished there.
Yeah, beautiful, Trixie.
Oh yeah, Kai, he I felt like he was doing not as well in the grappling in terms of trying to actually get the takedown because he went the same way 4 times and he didn't get one of them. But he did land that slip straight 3 times, so
Yeah.
it was great.
That's one of the people he makes reads, Doctor. He makes reads as he goes on. Top players do. There's differences between top players and great players and different stuff like that. But the guys' adjustments, we talk about it with you a lot, Trixie, when you fight. A lot of the best players in the world can make adjustments on a dime. And that's exactly what he did right there. He made the necessary adjustments. Ended up putting himself back in the fight, which I thought he kind of lost it by the 3/4 minute mark, and then all of a sudden those counters, those brilliant shots that he was landing, and he manages to get a beautiful win out there, and kind of in a dominant sort of sequence as well.
Oh yeah, definitely a dominant sequence. Just he got the slip straight and jumped on him and finished him. That's about it. It was great. Great performance by Kai.
Great performances all around. That's 3 fights into our main card. We move on to our 4th, the co-main event of Storm versus GGG Gecko. This is going to be middleweight, and by the looks of it, we're going to have a new addition to the middleweight roster being played for the first time here tonight of Alex Pereira versus Robert Whittaker.
Robert Whittaker, Trixie, Whittaker is a ridiculous pick. He's really difficult to beat no matter what. The GGG Gecko is going to try to utilise Alex Pereira. He's got ridiculous reach. He's got ridiculous kicker power and punching power as well.
Oh yeah.
Go ahead, Trixie. I was just going to say, I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, your first ever title win was with Robert Whittaker.
Oh yeah, I fought Mayhem. Oh my god, this was so long ago. I fought Mayhem. He had picked Hermanson, and I did pick Robert Whittaker. Indeed, Robert Whittaker. He's got. Oh my god, I'm surprised.
I think it's about. I mean, I've been around since the start. I think it was about PT 12. We're now on PT 76 next week. No, not tomorrow. That's how long it's been.
To break up this love fest. The better now open, boys. Storm and GGG. Pick who you want. There's a lot of love in the air. We'll get some bromance music on in a second. But these two boys, we have a fight in our hands as Alex Pereira makes his debut in prime time. And Robert Whittaker is going to try and put him away. I think this is a great fight in the future as well if Alex Pereira does win. GGG's, you see how long he is, Trixie? He's such a big, long character in that middleweight division. He's going to be a problem.
Oh yeah, he has the body like Izzy, but he's got the power like Yoel. I think this is the perfect counter to a Robert Whittaker.
He's also got a level 5 lead hook in both the body and head. So you land that, you're deadly, but on the ground it's going to be very hard to land that lead hook, especially if you get stuck in top mount on bottom, which is exactly where Storm wants. Storm's a grappler through and through. He loves the grappling. He loves to get the takedown early on, then really start making life difficult to then explode later down the line. And if you're Storm here, this is exactly where you want to be, Trixie.
Oh yeah, definitely. This is where you want to be. Alex Pereira, he's got scary power. I was using him yesterday, and I couldn't not knock people out with him. I think he's one of the best middleweights in the game.
There's a thing to me that I completely believe that Alex Pereira and Izzy are both meant for Chimaev. This division is going to be run by Chimaev. There's no way those guys who don't defend wrestling takedowns are not going to be able to stand with him. But I do believe he's dangerous everywhere. I don't know how that fight goes tomorrow, but I do know if he lands that lead hook, and even in this fight, Doctor, it's going to be dangerous. As you can see right there, Rob Whittaker is pure volume, and it's difficult to get him off you.
Yeah, it's safe to say that Robert Whittaker is a Max Holloway of middleweight. He's got the cardio, he's got the striking ability, he's got that non-stop pressure, which makes him so difficult to stop, and then he's also got a recovery, which is really effective. Pereira, the one getting the takedowns this time, kind of a shock to the system, gets a deny, and now this could be it for Robert Whittaker if he's not careful.
Oh yeah. Now see, I wanted to see Pereira with the clinch striking, but instead he shoots a takedown and gets reversed. So this is about worst case scenario as it can get.
He's in top mount right now. He's going to try and build that ground and pound so he can posture up and land some big heavy shots. Like someone mentioned in the chat a second ago, a lot of his ground stats are 80s. That's not great. That's 80s are around about what most of the guys who are in the middle of the pack, the guys who aren't doing very well in that division Aaron, you need a bit more. He needs a few more upgrades in that area, and the only way he gets that is by being challenged and being experienced and winning those fights that he is challenged and experienced in. Right now, this is the vulnerability for Alex Pereira in this game.
Well, Robert Whittaker exploiting it fantastically, throwing down all the shots he can in his ground and pound position, making sure to try to secure the round. Lovely denier there, does land again, but Gecko desperate for anything. Robert Whittaker getting up with 2 seconds left in the round. Interesting taunt and a little taunt to finish off the fight here, Trixie.
I don't think I agree with that stand-up. He could have got a couple of shots in right there. Even if it hit the block, it would have been an advantage.
Interesting camera.
No,
it's just
I thought we were getting the
no,
we
it's
were getting the
just
ref just edging the engine ref.
no, it's just an interesting camera glitch. Sometimes if your opponent, if the fighters are in the middle, you do actually get a nice little camera angle. But as you've seen, you're just off to the side. So when you get it now, round 2 is the round of adjustments. If you're Pereira, Trixie, you most likely want to be standing on the feet. But if you're Whittaker, you want to be keeping the same game plan.
Oh yeah, Robert Whittaker against the Pereira, you definitely want to keep that pressure because Pereira's got the reach and the power. Oh my goodness!
He's got nothing. He's got nothing, Trixie. He's dead. He's dead. He's got nothing. He's got a body bag from the coroner. That's all he's got.
Jesus.
Yeah,
I feel like he leant into the overhand and should have avoided it though.
We'll see in a second. Oh, he did. He did. You're right.
Through a hook,
my days.
You could see his arm coming up set for a hook.
Yeah, but he leaned the right. He literally.
He leaned the right way.
Yeah, he leaned, like that's the correct. That's the correct head movement to get away from that overhand that's going to the opposite side. But the tracking was like, nope, not today. I'm gonna knock you clean out. Ran down his face, Trixie, and killed him.
Oh yeah, I just think it was from he threw the counter too early. I feel like if he would have just kept his head moved and then threw the counter like a second later, it would have worked. But because he implemented the strike, he paid the price.
Paid the price for the strike, exactly that. And Doctor, fantastic win for Storm. He's going to be moving right up those rankings as well. PlayStation Division knocking on the door, for another big contest for him. And what that does though, Doc, sets us up nicely for our co-main event this evening.
Yep, so from one newly added fighter to another, we're moving to lightweight fight. This time around it's going to be a KM Intro versus Mr. Toasty Toes. Toasty Toes using Islam Makhachev. And on the other hand, we have Rafael Fiziev. Yes?
Fiziev.
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 The new addition to the roster who's very fun, got some very clean boxing, who's got a level 5 switch kick, if I'm not mistaken, and can kick you in the body and make you piss blood, it seems.
Yeah, definitely. But Islam, he kind of has the stand-up to compete with Fiziev and the wrestling. It's not even a competition in terms of the wrestling, but it's always the person behind him that's controlling the character, if they can implement these.
Glad you said that right there, and it is exactly what you just said. The person behind it is the person that can kind of utilize those characters, and we have got the best going intro versus Toasty Toes is up right next. Islam Makhachev is, for me, I don't know about you, Trixie, but he was upgraded ridiculously. He was undeserved, in my opinion, over other people. But DC has a. Say it again.
You were talking about Makhachev versus Charles.
No, just a 5-star. He got upgraded a ridiculous amount.
Yeah.
He's now
Oh my god!
I love it.
That's a first. That's impressive. Does get countered. But my fucking god, intro.
Nice
Respect to you there. Fucking hell.
The only problem is, Doctor, with that, you think he would go.
Yeah.
So that's the two block buttons and then the L1 button or LB button. You think he'd go RB with the reversal, I believe, Trixie, and that would have got to give him the top position essentially.
Oh yeah, definitely. Now I know both of these fighters. I think Intro will have the advantage in the striking, but right now it is looking like it is those World with the side controls.
I respect Paul Gilly, but I don't think it was the right idea, especially as we see this now. He's got to be very careful. Doesn't get the chain, size ditch on it early, but
he gets it. What the hell? He gets it, and I wasn't expecting that from Intro to get that one off, but he does get back to be more of a neutral position, not the greatest, but more of a neutral position, Trixie.
Yeah, that crucifix, it looked like it was one of those pre-entry transitions where you do it like as soon as you come out of like, ooh, wow, he gets up. It doesn't matter anymore.
Toasty has been known to play nervous, and it does seem like those nerves are kicking. He's playing very high pace, very aggressively, very early on. In what I think, if Intro's game plan is to just stay calm, composed, and explode later on into the fight after his opponent has gassed himself out, it could be an entirely viable idea here.
That might be exactly what he's trying to do. You know, the Intro is an experienced player. Sometimes the player can beat themselves, Trixie. They can kind of overdo it, you know, and even though Toasty, in my opinion, has had the better of this round so far, I can see Intro is a lot more comfortable.
Oh yeah, Intro, he's gonna feel more comfortable here. You know, this is his world against Makhachev. He definitely wants to stay on the feet, but I think he's gonna have to work this pressure a little bit as he's doing. You know, Fiziev, he's actually, I think he is the only character with 5-star Muay Thai combos with 5-star kickboxing. So he can definitely throw some weird stuff in there.
There's two. The other one's Pereira. They give both of them 5-star. Yeah, really. I checked it out the other day. 5-star for both of those guys. But yeah, there's two. Essentially, you are right, Trixie. That both of them came through at the same time.
Fair enough. Yeah, Fiziev, he definitely he can throw in a lot of mixed up strikes. You know, head, body, leg kick. He can do it all.
Now, although we've mentioned that Toasty is, you can sometimes let a player beat themselves, and from that it can mean that all you have to do is really stand there, stick a bit of pressure on, and they slowly deteriorate themselves. They're still a threat, and that's what Toasty is, because you saw for that entire fight he was playing very hectic, very aggressively, but that also means that you can't make predictable reads on your opponent, like when they're looking for certain stuff or techniques. And so if your opponent's playing that sort of pace, they're playing that chaotic style, it makes them extremely hard to read continuously, and that's what Intro may find.
Yeah, he's one of those awkward fighters, awkward style, and with the stats that currently Islam has, he's not using a lot of stamina as well. He's kind of keeping that high, keeping it even with the failed takedown attempts. He's mixing it up, fighting off the clinch, fighting in the clinch, fighting on the ground. He's fighting in those dirty sort of boxing spots that, you know, we see all the time, Trixie. We see people like Logan Paul fight Floyd Mayweather and then clinches him a lot and kind of throws those hefty shots. I know he's a lot bigger, but, you know, different things like that can completely offset the rhythm of a fighter that's used to fighting technical.
Yeah, it definitely can offset any rhythm, you know, just off that alone. But Intro, he's doing well, not letting it get to the ground. And
Commentary
oh my God,
commentary curse, Trixie. Doing I was about to mention on the feet though that Intro seemingly is wanting to work this body. He wants to dig down to it, but the issue is the way Toasty's striking with the abundance of shots. He can't get a read on what type of combos he's looking for, and that's meaning that he can very much have difficulty trying to dig down there because he may get caught by a front kick, a knee, a straight uppercut, anything that could then later affect him down the line by getting a stun or even a knockdown in the worst case scenario. Lovely reversal there though.
Nice work. He goes to get
he gets it back.
Are these two denied today, Trixie?
No, neither of them denied that one.
No denials today from either competitor as they're just moving around freely, trying to get shots. Beautiful. It's all over the place. We call it floor rolling if you do in jiu-jitsu.
Roly-poly's now lead into a Kimura. The chain does get denied. The blue bar going up, but he could easily go for the inverted triangle. We saw one earlier today. Had to have a couple attempts at it. Decides ditching it early and maintaining side control position. Goes for another Kimura, and this could be deadly.
He's threatening.
I love all these sub attempts. You know, this is best case scenario. No stamina. You know, just keep throwing them out there. Definitely, I'd hold on to him just longer, just to see like how far you can get, and then dictate later in the fight. And it looks like he's gonna let him out of that one. Right back in the side control, though. I've never seen that.
That's the key, though, isn't it, Doctor? Like knowing the amount of transitions you can get in that submission before you lose control, and kind of building up and stacking points as well. Not many people realise that's points. You're getting further in a transition of a submission. It's more points. You're closer to finishing the fight.
Yeah, it does get you a couple of shots, not as much. It sadly doesn't do damage like UFC 3, which, my God, I wish it did. I wish subs attempts did damage, honestly. Overhands coming out there at the very end. He was just trying to score anything he could against the block of Islam Makhachev. I'm not too sure who won that round. It's fairly close across the board. The first 2 rounds are fairly close. I think, as you like to say, Humble, this is the third and final round is the most crucial here, and these two have had one hell of a fight as well as maintaining their stamina as well.
Very close, right, Trixie? Very close fight, and either one can probably win. But I do think Toasty's been more active, I believe. I'm not sure.
Oh yeah, definitely. Toasty's been more active in these last 2 rounds, but I do think he did lose the first round, won the second. I think it's 1-1 right here, so it could be anybody.
All to play for, Trixie, as you're saying right there. This one is going to decide it, and these two have to put it all out there as a beautiful takedown right there into the body lock, into the... So we get a reversal though. Fizzy, these two have not stopped the transitions all night. They've been able to deny each other, reverse each other, flow roll all night, Doctor.
Yeah, he's having a lot of success here. I think that's just due to the chaos in which he's Toasty's in. He's unpredictable, he's hectic, he's chaotic, and both into striking department as well as grappling. That means that he can land damage, but then his opponent doesn't know how to respond.
Wow.
But because of when he lands damage, 5 seconds later you're just doing roly-polies halfway across the octagon. As you can see here, they go for another roly-poly, and it's just this constant movement that allows Toasty can score damage, but his opponent is at Intro, who's normally a man who loves to find different holes and fire combos. He can't find that steady base to really expand upon, and so he's stuck throwing very basic combos which don't actually score a lot in terms of damage.
Ooh, I definitely think Intro might think he's down 2 rounds right now, and he's just trying to get the knockout. But Toasty Toes just with the grappling, just holding them in mount right now. He got the posture, a few hooks there, slips into another.
Oh, nice. We've got to be careful as well, because we do have certain rules on, bobbleheading, I guess, from that we call it. There's a lot of instinctual bobbleheading that comes on that people do in ranked. It's the easiest way to stop that sort of those sort of things, and you've got to kind of defend quite aggressively and intelligently in prime time in other leagues as well. And I think he's trying his best to do that, Intro, but he's got to get back to the feet. He's got to find some success. He's got to find a way to end this round in a positive manner, Trixie.
Oh yeah, so far I think this is Toasty Toes round. He's held him down. He's got reversed a couple times, but Intro, he didn't really get anything with it. There's a deny for Toasty right there and a transition. I feel like Toasty just needs to ride this round out, and it could be his.
43 seconds left on the clock. That's a very short time to ride it out, especially you made it the last 15 minutes or so. And you got to imagine if you're Intro, you're going to be annoyed. You've still got a lot in that gas tank, but you just haven't had the time to use it. As I said, Toasty and chaos. Some people describe it as panic wrestling. I wouldn't. It's just,
Oh, he's got him.
It's chaos understood. Like, he understands what he's doing. He's bringing on this chaotic aspect, and that's kind of led him throughout this entire fight. If you don't know what you're doing, your opponent definitely isn't going to have a clue what you're doing. It's kind of the methodology there.
I made a silly reference there on towards Logan Paul and Floyd Mayweather, the way Logan Paul kind of utilised the clinch, the grappling, and kind of grappled Floyd Mayweather in a boxing match. And technical fighters sometimes can't fight in a brawl, and if you're forced to do that with them, that's how you get the win. And Toasty Toes, I believe, utilised that, and he was allowed to chain wrestle, Trixie. What a lot of people don't realise about this game is chain wrestling can cause a lot of burning stamina, whereas if you're being dirty with the clinch, then chain wrestling, then go, like if you're mixing all of the elements of martial arts in while striking off the break, things like that, you use a lot of stamina in those sort of cases, making it a lot harder for your opponent to kind of guess what's coming and also keep their stamina high as well, and it's really difficult to deal with.
Yeah, you really do lose a lot of stamina for denying multiple takedown attempts and transitions and things like that. But, Kai, oh my God, Toasty Toes, I'm so sorry. Toasty Toes, he implemented his game plan. It started out a little rough. It looked a little shaky for him. And then that third round came, and he kind of just settled down a bit and just implemented his game plan.
It was a 50-50 split, Doctor, down the middle for the band line. So 50% of the people in the chat right now are going to be happy with that outcome, and 50% of them are not. It's the way it goes with this one. But Toasty Toes ranked number 6 before this one. He's going to push right up there. Some big winners tonight in that division. There's going to be a bigger winner coming up next. That's pretty much all the guys, apart from Trixie and Dirty Dave, are fighting. You know, within them top 6 of this one, we've got Driz versus Caliber in our main event, number 3 in Xbox versus number 5. This is going to really separate these guys from the pack. We have Trixie versus Donna tomorrow. We know who's fighting for the belt tomorrow, so these two are going to got a chance to put a show on to say, you know, I'm knocking on that door. I'm ready for a title shot against the winner of tomorrow's fight.
As you can see by the photograph, we're going to be having a Kamaru Usman versus a Belal Muhammad. Muhammad is definitely...
Sorry, wait there. Sorry, go back. What did you say, sorry?
Belal. I mean, it's Belal, I think. Belal?
Yes,
Belal. Yeah, well, pronunciation ain't the name of the game. So...
Oh, I love you. Sorry, Doctor.
Caliber picking Muhammad, part of the Mafia Squad team. I'm not too sure. They're all about something. They love him dearly. On the other hand, you have Driz picking Kamaru Usman, the man who's the legend. One of Trixie's favourite picks. Hopefully, he can offer some insight into that pick here.
Oh yeah, Usman, you know, he's definitely gonna want to keep that straight out there, you know, that 5-star straight does so much power with Usman. But Cal, you know, classic Belal pick by Cal. I probably don't agree with it, but you know, I just think this is gonna be such a good fight.
I've been enjoying his Belal recently, and I think it's weird because in his moveset he's actually got extra takedowns than most of the people. I've never kind of seen them utilised, but it means he's got chain wrestling against the fence, I believe it is, where you can go for multiple takedowns. I've not really seen it too much, but it actually is in there if you want to do some research on it, guys. But Belal Muhammad's got good boxing, good forward pressure, and he's been updated as well from his last win. So he's a bit better than he was when he first came into the game. I don't think he's as good as Usman, though. Trixie Usman's got a 5-star jab. He's kind of outdoes him everywhere where he's good as well.
Oh yeah, Usman definitely outdoes him everywhere. There's the denial by Driz, though. You know, don't think it was really too smart of Cal to shoot on Usman with the 99 takedown defense, but you know, maybe he's trying to
taken down by a striker. But we continue.
Exactly that, and the better line is good. No one's betting on Caliber so far. A minute left of the betting line. Driz versus Caliber going on right now. Put your channel points on who you think's going to win this one. Remember the name. It's got nothing on him at the moment, Trixie. Very interesting considering the type of fighter Caliber is.
The leg kicks seem to be one of his mainstays. It's looking like Caliber wanting to really reduce the power so that he can explode later down the line. But that body as well does go for the teep, does get caught. Now a takedown following suit. A lovely suplex there, and now Caliber's the one on bottom.
Oh yeah, this is Driz's world. You know, he's predominantly a grappler, so I definitely want to see him work for that takedown. And Cal gets the side control.
Oh, nice. As you've seen, Trixie geeking over that there, it's exactly that. It's beautiful work right there from Caliber. Caliber is exactly what his name states, Doctor. He's high level, high caliber sort of action, great grappling, great. That's why he picks these fighters. People don't realise this. I love it. He's got such a confidence in his ability that he picks fighters that nobody else kind of picks, because he knows that he trains with these people, he fights on a daily basis in the ranks and different things with these people. He doesn't pick the obvious meta pick. He picks whoever he wants to pick, and that's in his ability shines through and through each time he fights in prime time.
He reminds me of, I'm going to say this, and I imagine nobody apart from the select few will say, Honest Jim. Honest Jim was a grappler subspecialist who, back within UFC, would pick fighters he enjoys. He does not care about who they are, but he would pick them, he would play them, and he would get the wins. And he was known for being able to come out, play that game, and then play really aggressively. And that's what kind of Caliber's brought on continuing into UFC 4. Don't think neither him or Honest Jim have ever met or fought, but they both have that similar essence about them, that similar core identity.
I've got a question for Trixie as well. So far, 90% of people pick Driz to win this fight. Trixie, I know you said you've fought both of these characters, but as we're seeing right now, Caliber, first round, very dominant, I believe, with Belal Muhammad right there, even though he's fighting a grappler. 10% of people only went with him, and that's surprising to me. I'm not sure what you think of that.
I definitely don't agree with that. If I could figure out how to get on Twitch from my phone while talking, I definitely would. But that's just me. Cal, he definitely had a great first round, and I want to see more of that out of him. But Driz, I think he's going to have to implement a sort of strategy here because it kind of looked like he was trying to get a read for him in the first round, and Cal I don't think he let him, really.
Well, Usman being the one putting the forward pace, he has done this in the first round. You saw Caliber starting to take back as the round went on, and I think that's what Caliber's idea is. He's going to pick apart slow because he knows he can't trade, but then you can see he's digging down to that leg, working ahead, flying those knees out as well, and just slowly working down the Usman as he comes forward.
Yeah, these guys are potentially fighting for a shot at the belt in the future. Who knows? It might not be a number one contender fight, but it also might be. It depends on the performance. How these do. There's a lot of guys. There's a few guys above them, and also a few guys today who are undefeated, who've had good performances. For me, I want to see one of these guys put a statement on. It could be done in the next couple of rounds. It doesn't have to be done right now. But so far, Caliber fighting a very smart approach, in my opinion. Nick. That leg, Trixie.
Ooh. I think this is when Caliber's at his best. Heavy pressure, mixing in the body and the leg kicks, maybe shooting a takedown. But I think this is where
That jab, the use of the jab, making his opponent think he was going to go for a hook instead, just timing it on the straight instead, and he's done so well. And now digging it back down, playing that slow pace, evidently with the likes of Dirty Dave, that mindset of just going, okay, we're going to go on the ground now. I know I'm winning on the feet, but I want to take you here. I'm more confident here. Let's keep you here for a bit and then slowly grind you down further. He's got another 3 rounds to work with past this 2 minutes in this round, and Caliber isn't worried about pushing pace. He's just worried about making sure that he secures every minute of every second he's given.
Yeah, he's doing a great job so far, and we talked about this earlier on with Trixie when I mentioned that when you land these sort of combinations in certain positions, you need to learn how to utilize the ground game. You need to learn how to chip away at your opponent, and it demoralizes them. Driz right now has got to be thinking to himself, I was stuck on my back for nearly 3 or 4 minutes of the first round. He's knocked me down, and now he's got me on the back again. It's going to be really difficult to get out of this position and land something offensive.
Oh my. Big damage, but he's got
that's
the
a
right
rarity to see, to be honest. Goes for a second get up, does get it this time. Kamaru Usman in southpaw, that lead leg that was in his orthodox stance already chopped, and now he's going back to the other one. For a fact that Usman's power is a bit lower. If that other leg wasn't dead, that may have actually got a stun, but finally a leg check finally coming out here, Trixie.
Oh yeah, definitely. He's getting some more leg checks in here. But like I said earlier in the round before the knockdown, Cal's at his best when he's working the legs and the body and then shooting a takedown, just like he did.
Similar to yourself, Trixie, I remember Doc analysing a couple of fights between you and Fadnator, and you seemed to kind of attack the legs and do really well later on in the fight when you had attacked the legs earlier on. It really utilises the jabs. It really stops them from moving the head a lot, because when they do slip, when they do counter, and they're off balance, and you attack those legs, you get a bit more damage. And that's kind of the purpose of it. It takes away the power, but you also stop them from kind of stopping those straight strikes, which are going to be really important to kill the block, kill the head health, and chip away.
Oh yeah, it's definitely harder when you got someone just chopping at both of your legs. You can't really block low because your head health is starting to get low because you keep blocking low. And you kind of just fall in this whirlpool, and I've definitely been there. I felt it, and it can definitely be a problem. And right now, Cal, he's kind of just teeing off. He's not listening.
Just that jab. He fires that jab. He waits for his opponent to move his head, and then he fires the shot that makes sure it actually hits his opponent. The elbow coming out there, knees coming out where. I don't know how Caliber's worked the body. I feel like he's only worked the head and the legs, but somehow he's done that. The overhand coming out there, and it's done beautiful work, but it's just. It seems like Usman's power is nowhere to be seen, and Belal Muhammad is just having so much success.
Driz needs to do something big here. I mean, Cal, he's kind of just walking him down and doing whatever he wants. Driz needs to do something to offset that pattern that Cal's doing, just walking at him.
Oh, nice fake. He's studying southpaw as well. I know his legs hurt, but it's taken away from that power. I don't know what. I think it was with Stan Smith. She was like 80 or something like that. So it's not the greatest. And obviously, when you fight in that position, it's going to take away a lot of that power. And he's suffering for it. You can tell he doesn't have a lot kind of going. Maybe he's waiting for Caliber to kind of burn out a bit, and then he'll try and put the offense on. But might be too little too late. Some offense coming right now though there from Driz. Really trying to put himself back in the fight. The leg kick comes back again though, Doctor. And this is a tough fight so far for Driz as Caliber shows his caliber in 3 rounds.
Yep, 3 rounds, another 2 to go. Still a minute 20 left in this one. It's looking like it's nowhere near stopping just yet. That lead overhand has been the most deadly tool of Usman. Every time he's landed it, it's been very little power. He needs to figure out a way. Takedown attempt here, doesn't get it, but that's a bit dry, and the switch kick also to the body. I'm feeling like right now he wants to land that switch kick to the body, but the issue was it was just in southpaw, and so that lead leg wasn't open to the open side of the body to get that increase on ability.
Yeah, Usman, it's not his switch stance. He has 94 switch stance. It's his footwork, He's got 91 footwork, and then with your legs getting chopped down, you can't really move all that well.
Oh my God, making the read perfectly. Now just doing it. Yeah, head health is low. End of the round, and that has probably added a bit of confidence into Driz's mind. It was that case of Caliber wants to work the body now because he knows that his opponent's blocking that head, and he needs to work the body to really open up that head a bit more. But the issue is, he goes down to that head, you've got the opening of the uppercut, which can really cause some massive damage.
Yeah, it's just the uppercut there again for Driz. Driz is really finding a home with that uppercut. Caliber's starting to throw and whiff a bit there early on in the round. Not something we're used to so far. We've not seen that much. Maybe throwing him off with the knockdown, Trixie.
Oh yeah, he definitely threw him off with the knockdown, but he got the rock off the single collar right there. Cal, he's trying to keep his wits together. He's definitely been winning a fight before and has succumbed to a counter shot, so he's just trying not to let that happen again.
Loving the adjustments, Doctor, from Driz. He really seems like he's trying to win this fight, and he's really trying to turn the tides, essentially. You can see Caliber's stamina is not the greatest as well. He does shoot for a takedown round that gets denied, and that might be why. The takedowns have been on point for Driz so far in this. It's been knockdowns, essentially, that have got him into those positions. But as on the feet, I think he's kind of denied a few of those.
A slow and steady pace is what Caliber needs. He doesn't need this hectic mindset. His stamina's low. The difference in power, even with the leg kicks of Usman, you can see and feel how hard Usman hits, and if he's not careful, it's going to cause issues. Muhammad's at a disadvantage there, and that's what Caliber needs to constantly stay aware of. Is he's looking for a massive counter shot to really just do all that major damage here tonight. That's what he wants. Getting it in, that head health is so low. Goes for the takedown, doesn't get it. It actually ends up with being a slam KO if he timed it in correctly.
Needs to be careful here.
Doc, the slam KO, it actually does not work against the cage, no matter the head health at all. You can only get it from that judo throw in the first clinch.
That is so strange.
I know. I've tested it multiple times, and it just doesn't work.
Of course you have tested it multiple times.
The uppercut right there from Driz, I'm noticing that's kind of his money shot at the moment. He keeps sneaking it through, and Caliber, I know he's done a lot of work. Caliber's doing fantastic in this round. I just remember the end of last round, and Driz managed to get a rock and hurt him right there. Nearly finished him as well. He was literally shot away from being finished, and head kick goes right there, nearly gets him again. Got to be careful right now. They're both relying on low stamina. 3 or 4 shot combinations. One of those misses, Trixie, and this could be game over.
That body shot is what he wants. Another one there. As he gets the stun, as he gets the knockdown, looking for it, goes back into side control. Oh my God, Jesus!
Beautiful work.
This is great right now from Cal. He ended the round on top. Driz, he did bring it back at the end of last round, but Cal, he kept his wits together and got another drop.
So
I'd say
3-1, Cal?
Yep, that's just what I was about to say. 3-1 for Cal.
It's a veteran savvy performance so far from Caliber. He's got to keep his wits about him in this one. Can't kind of, over exert himself. That stamina is low from both. But I love how he switched up to the body. Nice work, drops to the opponent. This is going to be it. There's no way Driz is going to survive much more damage. His towel, his brother, everybody is in his corner, kind of looking with anticipation on this one, thinking this might be it. Getting ready to throw the towel in. But Hal, remember the name, and Caliber have had a great performance so far. And it is the 5th round of this main event this evening, Trixie. It looks like it's going to be done.
Yeah, it's going to be done, but knowing Cal, he wants a decision with Bilal. It's just... He might.
No. He's hanging on. He's hanging on barely.
He got the rock right there. I definitely think he could have finished him, so that makes me think going for a decision now.
This is it. Surely this is it. Damn. Herb's had enough. Herb's finally saved the fighter once in his life.
That was a war. Genuinely, that was... Mohammed came out, looked fantastic that first round, slow, calm, showed off that grappling. Second round was the same pace, more on the feet though, less of the grappling. That third round looked like Caliber's, but then Usman came out, showed what he was made of, getting the knockdown. That fourth round, they were both slowly gassing, coming back and forth. Mohammed taking it at the very end, getting that body stun, and then this, and during this fifth round, the push into that body kick. As soon as that body was done for, it led to Caliber being able to open up so much more, open up the head, get into that top man position to then land in that beautiful ground amount.
Yeah, he did a great job throughout the thing. I just love the fact he picked Belal Muhammad, Trixie, and kind of won the fight with Belal. And you already know he's a top competitor. He's now going to be moving to 4-0. He was ranked number 3. He's knocking on the door of yourself, Donna, and Dirty Dave. He's got some people right behind him though, because Cass is also 4-0. And so Toasty Toes is now 5-2, right there knocking on. All these guys are kind of competing at the highest level. I do love that performance from Caliber though. It was a veteran win. Doc said it was a war. Doc said it was a war.
A lot of jabs.
Yeah.
As you can tell, 211 out of 401. As we're looking on the stats, he over doubled his opponent's strikes landed. He looked out there, put on a dominating performance, and the stats only show it. But with that is our fight night done. Now, here we are with tomorrow's graphic. Ooh. This will be our main
what's that? What's that? Oh, you like that, Trixie?
You like that, Trixie?
That's nice. I do like that.
Yeah, you like that. Listen, guys. Tomorrow night we have an absolute crazy card. We've got EK Dono defending his belt after coming off, we don't talk about it too much, Doctor, but coming off a controversial sort of fight previously. He's now going to be fighting, for me, the primetime GOAT, and a lot of people as well. B-Fat Trixie, who's in the commentary tonight. By the way, Trixie nailed the commentary tonight. Absolute natural. Killed it all the way through. But I have to get your opinion on this fight tomorrow.
I really appreciate the props on the commentary. It's my first time doing something like this, so it felt good. It felt good to get the first one out the way. I'll definitely be more comfortable. But tomorrow I am going to steal the show once again and get a finish and get my title back again.
Awesome work, Doctor.
You've got,
awesome work.
Just on this card alone, just to give us a bit of insight, you got VS Joss versus TT Hoo, Lilo versus Ginger, Gemini versus Dino Gamer, the GOAT of MMA versus MBK Verk, with a main prelim spot of Rosso versus Amazon VS. So you may have an Xbox title fight, but do not forget about the PlayStation division. We've seen a lot of the high end of the Xbox side tonight. Tomorrow will be a lot of the high end PlayStation. Make sure to look out for that. So, Well, this has been a stat card from top to bottom with a lovely commentator Trixie as well as yourself, Humble. But that will be it for tonight. A fantastic main event. I said congratulations to Caliber, condolences for Driz. But from that and the Primetime team, that is us done for this evening. Catch us tomorrow at 3:30 Eastern, 8:30 GMT. Stick around for the raid at the end and have a good night.